Good afternoon, guys and gals, and welcome to another fine episode of Show Us Don't Tell Us, here live on the L&M Radio Network. And folks, if you can, donate to the L&M Radio Network. We have a boatload of archives for you to listen to. Not this show in the future, but many shows, not only ours, but I'm going to give a plug out there to Money and Change with Stu, and Secret Teachings with Ryan Gable, and many others. Anyways, guys, welcome to the show. There's no telling what we're going to talk about. We switch gears like there's no tomorrow. That's what I love. It's a good, full-blown, neurotic show. That's what I'm talking about. Anyways, without further ado, I'm going to bring in Papa Bear, and we'll go from here.
I'm going to agree with you. You never know what's going to flop out of our pie holes. Things are just crazy around here. Anyway, yes, welcome to Show Us Don't Tell Us. L&M Radio Network needs your help. Please send donations if you can. The owner needs a computer, so help us out here. Anyway, I'm just going to be brief. Mike, how are you, man?
I'm doing I'm a little flustered tonight. I'm trying to get it together, but I'm slowly getting there. We had a little password change, and from that, things just weren't going the way I needed them to go, and I didn't like it. And all of a sudden, we do have a guest tonight, but I am not sure that our guest is with us. We were supposed to bring Michelle on tonight, and I am not getting a response back to her, so she might have been pulling a Skillzzz. So, not to take a cheap shot on you there, Skillzzz, but
oversleeping, yeah. Oh, I didn't hear the alarm. I used to use that, but then I found it didn't work, so I had to go for something really innovative.
Well, I've changed everything. I had changed around the microphones, changed around the computer system a little bit. Reshuffle the internet to get a better feed, and hopefully get rid of the echo sound that I noticed as I was watching some of the replays. And I'm just like, okay, we're going to try to get this dialed in a little better. So hopefully this works out a little better tonight. But awesome. And until that point in time, the only thing I can say is Sorry. We'll get it figured out. We'll get it figured out there.
Work with us.
Yeah.
Work with us. We'll figure it out.
Yeah. Well, and the other exciting news well, it's not really good news for us, but our Cleveland Cavaliers went down tonight. They're just a really good team, and you got to give it to Golden State. They very hungry. They brought in extra talent to after last year's
Durant.
Yeah, and it's really hard to overcome that, and I mean it really is. And they played their hearts out, and they gave us a great season, and we were there. And I'm hopeful that LeBron sticks around and doesn't do what the rumors say, like go to a West Coast team. You're a Cleveland man, sir. Please stay. We need you.
Huh.
Give us a chance again. So.
Yeah, well, he's an Akron native, but yeah, okay. But yeah, right.
Yeah. Hey, if nothing else, I mean, Comey's 6'8". He can dunk a basketball. If he ever gets harder for work.
Yeah, right. I brought that up on Duct Tape Nation. Joe and Ira's show. I says, hey, look. I says, Comey's making how much? They said, well, not much right now. I says, he's 6'8". Man, the Cavs can sign him, man. Come on.
Yeah. I don't misunderstand me. The guy's in his early 50s, but hey, he's got the height.
Yeah, he could be off and stand by the frickin'. Yeah, okay, I'll alley-oop this in.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, just stand beside the basket over there. There you go.
Give me your guys' take on, so now what, so Puerto Rico's in now? 51st state?
Well, no, it's got to go through Congress and through all that stuff. But they voted on their own to become the 51st state, and overwhelmingly they wanted to attach themselves to us for God knows why.
97%. Well, no, because their economy's tanking.
Yeah, that's what you know. What?
Yeah, but they just got wiped. They just zeroed the books. They're all better. They just need to find a place to call home. A country to call home, and they want to join in. I guess you can't blame them, huh?
Yeah, they need a motherland, I tell you.
I mean, if they don't join us, we'll go over there and implement democracy on them, and if we have to force it on them, they're not going to like it.
Well, the only highlight is me being a baseball fan. The baseball players will get over here that much easier. Yeah. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
It's one of those things that is kind of I have to agree. I think it's because our economy's tanking, and all of a sudden they've had so many opportunities to join. Okay. And now all of a sudden, things are looking grim, and we've watched the economy and it's slowly tanking, and now you want to jump on board, okay? I kind of have a problem with that. It's like I got to tell you.
Well, yeah, but it's not like they're bringing a bunch of debt when they join. We're not going to cover their bills.
Of course we're going to cover their bills. Yeah,
their bills are already paid. They just got bailed out. They're done. They just zeroed out their books.
What do you mean they zeroed out their books? How?
Well, I know some fellas that won't wash up on shore over there, the Mexicans. I think
this all comes back to the IMF and all that good stuff, because the Federal Reserve headquarters is in Puerto Rico. Okay.
Alrighty.
There's along with the IRS. It's a long story. It's a long story. It'd take more than a show.
I'm not a big fan of it.
Puerto Rico was in trouble. They were about ready to go belly up and give everything over to the so-called United States, and while they got bailed out.
Well,
they're starting at zero. The only thing they don't have is a currency.
So why don't we go ahead and we swap them out with California then, if they're a lot more stable?
Hey, that would be great. If you could just pick up California and move it, physically, that would be the thing to do. Yeah, that would be awesome. You just slide it right down into Mexico. Here you go. Or just build a new wall.
Yeah, listen.
You guys want to be part of Mexico? Here you go. I mean, Mexico wants you back. Have right at it. We got no use for you here anymore.
No.
And this place got top of the volcano. Live out of, they got fault anyways, yeah, right?
Yeah. That's a good way of putting it. Now we got no use for you. Get out of here.
Yeah.
You got faults, I tell you. You don't need it.
You turn into a liability. Pack your stuff and move out, kid.
Yeah, you're dead weight, and that's that's
Your daddy.
That's the way I look at it. Is you're a little bit of dead weight. You complain a lot.
Yeah.
You know, if we can send a few people along with it, there's some people up in the. I'm not even gonna go there. If I go there, I'll get on this big.
But that's the thing. You've got good people everywhere, and grouping them all into one category, it's, you know what I mean? Saying, oh, these people are like this or these people are like that. Is, to some degree, there's culture involved, but other than that, it's all individual.
I think that once we get through all this, all this government waste that we have going now with this investigation and everything like that.
That's, yeah.
I mean, come on.
Yeah, but we just
so
opened up a whole new can of worms, though. I mean, now they're going to bring up the Hillary and the DNC voter rigging stuff where they stole it from Bernie Sanders, and all that stuff is going to have to go through.
Well, that's and then these people have the audacity to say, give us a raise, and they don't want us to give us a raise. They're going to decide whether they want to give themselves a raise. But the thing that really makes me upset is, okay, enough of this already. Okay, it's just enough. Let's, he's the president. That's all there is to it. It's over with. It's done with. And I got Maxine Waters out there who's deciding, oh, I'm going to try to do everything I can to get you impeached. There's so much garbage. Who are these people and who has voted for them to get them in? I really have to question some of these people. But
and the whole thing is that it was all supposed to be given to Hillary, and it got blown. They took it away from Bernie the same way they took it away from Hillary and gave it to Obama in 2008. It's typical. It's the way the Democratic Party operates. It's the nature of the beast. Yeah. And this year all of a sudden it mattered because I don't know, we had Bernie Sanders or something, but it mattered this time around. And Seth Rich didn't like it. Well, they wound up erasing him. We still don't know where Eric Braverman is. He was with the DNC. But there was a lot of shady stuff going on, and Hillary was quite undesirable. And the thing is, they didn't want to see Hillary in. They'd rather see Bernie. But Hillary, Hillary was well hated. Is well hated.
Yeah.
So,
well, it's just, it's a shame, but we have more pressing issues to deal with. And that's where I want to see it in. We've got things that real issues here, okay? I don't care anymore about what we can't change. Let's start talking about
really. I have real
change.
issues. There are spots on my bike I can't get with wax.
Yeah, it's just time to move on. What's the weather going to be like tomorrow? Hey, did you see? I've been watching this thing that's popped up. Now, I don't know how true it is, but you got to check it out. It's on Facebook, and then there was another thing. It was on the founder of the Weather Channel talking about the climate,
global warming,
and
climate change. Yeah.
Yeah. Did you see that?
I've seen that. Oh yeah.
And
there is no climate change.
Yeah, and then they had another one that was in the House that was actually reading from a report that was done all the way back from 1922. Okay, and he's questioning the person that's pushing the climate change, and he goes, "Is this the report that you want to talk about?" And she goes, "Well, I don't know if it's that report there." And she goes, "What's the date on that report?" And he said 1922, and he's reading off the same stuff that they're talking about today. was happening back then.
Right.
So is it?
Yeah.
You know, is there a real climate change, or is it a world cycle that we're just just a cycle that we're going through?
This ball is a living organism, and it's self-sustaining. It heals itself. It takes care of
Yes,
itself.
it does.
You know, I mean, if there's an imbalance of any chemical on this planet, it basically takes care of itself.
Yeah, I mean, Skillz.
Don't misunderstand me. We're not doing it any good. You know, removing all the trees we're taking out, but yeah, we're not helping it at all.
Well, Skillz.
But it does compensate.
Go to what 3 years ago? Skillz, wasn't that like one of the worst winters Ohio had since '78?
Oh, good heavens. Blizzard of 78 was indeed the worst I'd ever seen, and fortunately I couldn't capitalize on that because I was in the hospital with the flu at the time, 104-degree temperature, which pissed me off. I lost out on a lot of money I could have made, but Blizzard of 78 was incredible. I'm trying to recall the last one I had seen.
It was a couple years ago.
I mean, no, man, not in comparison to that. And my memory, and I got a memory like an elephant. Yeah, we had a couple of dingers, but not compared to that.
Well, I know the Northeast got beat up pretty good because Boston didn't even know what to do with all the snow. So, I mean, it looked pretty vicious a couple years back. So, I mean,
we got hit pretty good. It filled up the whole yard here. You know, we filled that up with snow.
Yeah, I mean, I just think it's cycles that we're going in, and the more volcanoes are becoming active, and when that happens, you're going to get a freeze. It's going to happen. It's going to block the radiation from the sun.
Well, between that and the ocean tides changing, warm, cold, or the ocean themselves, because at one point the ocean shifted from being cold to being warm, and that's when we went into what they call the El Nino, the weather pattern,
or the La Nina, depending on which one and where.
Yeah,
it's at.
and then now it's going back to cold again. So, the weather's stable. This has been going through its things for millions of years. I mean, it does its thing. This planet has survived a whole lot more than we're going to give it. That's for sure.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, Oh, here we go.
We got a call coming in, don't we?
I believe. Michelle, is that you? Hello?
Welcome to Show Us, Don't Tell Us.
I think she's there. Michelle? I'm working on it, guys. Trying to see where we're at here.
With the eyes, now with the hands.
You're working on it? You're working it over?
I think so. I think she is there. I don't know what their storms are like. There we go. And I think we will... Oh.
Wait, those invisible...
No, Michael's trying to make a mess of everything, that's all. See, this is what happens. I make a mess here. So hang on a second. We will call her right back. And let's see if we can pull her in that way.
Hello.
There she is. See? All right. Now I'm just ordering.
Hi, guys.
Welcome to Show Us, Don't Tell Us.
Hey, Michelle. How are you?
Hi, it's good to be back.
Yeah. How are you, darling?
I'm doing great. How are you guys?
Good.
Nothing short of awesome.
Listeners, here we are.
Better have twins.
Yes, see, we do. Doing? Our guest did show up. She did pull a Skillz. What'd I tell you? Anyway. Michelle, how are you?
I was on the phone with one of my vets, and I couldn't get off the phone.
Okay. All right, that works. So, Michelle, you're down now in Oklahoma, correct, or no?
I am. I am in Oklahoma. I'm about an hour from 3 different bases.
Ah.
So, yeah, I'm kind of squished in between Lawton, Altus, and Wichita Falls.
That
Wow.
must be fun.
Okay. You didn't have your video on. We're live streaming. If you have video, we can put you on.
You see a lot of air traffic?
Yeah, you can put me on video. Are you doing it through Skype or?
I'm doing it
Yeah.
through Skype. You'll see a video button on your phone somewhere, and if you click on it, it should come up somewhere. I think it's on your end though.
Okay, because the call didn't come through Skype. It just came in through my phone.
Oh. See, there you go. It's on the phone. That's a whole different ball game now.
Okay. Well.
So
Well, then
that
we'll
means
just
one of
leave it-
two things.
Yeah, we don't want to hang up. We'll just.
That's one of two things. Either you call back on Skype or we go without video.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. It's up to you guys. I don't care either way.
Well, unless you feel like giving it a shot, calling back in, man. If I can snatch it up,
However you want to do it.
Yeah, we could try.
I can call.
I'm going to get a good night's sleep either way.
Yeah. Well, you know what? This is.
It's all about me, I tell you.
This has been one of those things. We'll go ahead. We'll be gutsy and we'll chance it. You got the number right? You go ahead and call right back through the Skype, and then it should be able to do video. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
All
Sounds
right.
good.
Give me just 1 second.
All right.
All right.
And she'll be back in a jiffy if everything
1
goes.
second.
I-
Time is up.
I believe so. I'm hopeful.
Ding, 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 ding. Ding, 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 ding.
What-
Carry this. We'll pick it up from there.
What I'll do is I'll transition this. And
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm.
now let's see.
Oh,
Yeah, buddy. So,
I don't know.
alrighty. Interesting. We're off to a good start. Go gung ho.
We're
Anyway.
to a rocky start.
We're off to a good start. Go gung ho.
We've got a few leaks in the boats, and the last time we had that, Noah built himself an ark.
Yeah.
All right, let's see where she went. She's got to be somewhere. Oh, that blew made that pay. Uh-oh.
Probably.
Oh, her. See what I tell you, rocky start. Right now, her Skype is updating.
You gotta love Skype. Man.
Why do I? Yeah. Why does that not surprise me?
No, that's fine. We'll carry on for the moment.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
I remember when it did that
Yeah,
to me
we
when we were live on the show, and all of a sudden Skype decided to do its own thing and and then it turned around and said, "You know what? I'm going to update, and I don't care what you think." So
and oh man, that upsets you so bad. It's like, can you I don't know, maybe ask me or something.
yeah, give me a
You know?
choice. Give me
I don't know.
something.
Yeah, give me some kind of option. I mean, isn't this do we have some sort of freedom? I mean, even though it's the illusion of freedom, I mean, isn't there something?
Choice?
You're not in the politics realm. This is entertainment. Maybe I should have a little more options.
Yeah. Yeah, you just don't get that. Not today. Not in today's world. Options cost money.
Yeah. Look, you want to use the damn thing, pay up.
You guys aware that
Well, we
What's that?
you guys aware that Lake Erie is up 6 to 8 inches above normal, highest it's been since 1986. But that's one of the few Great Lakes that's currently up, which is quite strange.
Yeah. The level is a bit high, isn't it?
Well, you get a lot of rain. A lot of rain. So you'll have that.
It wasn't completely out of hand. I mean, yeah, we get a bit, but not like it's like, oh my God.
Yeah, but I mean,
Are you sure?
would any of that
Because I could
have
pull up
anything
some
to
of
do
your.
with thermal? I mean, since you're talking about global warming, would there be any thermal expansion involved there?
I don't know. But I know, here's the key. When you grab animals to put sure that
Uh-oh. We're losing him. We're losing you, Skillz. We're losing you.
that
I know you're there. I know you're there somewhere. Well, this night's going to be eventful.
Sounds like a song, yeah.
Yeah.
It is going to be eventful, but all the events are not going to be pertaining to the show content.
Yeah, hopefully not.
Anyway, yeah, Michael had a problem with his computer, and I guess it decided it was going to
quit.
Yeah, well, it just decided it wasn't going to recognize the hard drive. It says, hey, your hard drive don't have the right password. I don't want to look at it.
Yeah,
so,
tendered its resignation.
Yeah, so we got the blue screen of death.
Oh.
And yeah, so he's down until he replaces the computer.
Yeah, and it's got to be in the motherboard. It's probably in one of the IDE ports or whatever. So.
Well, no, it's just the hard drive. It didn't recognize the hard drive. It couldn't read it. So it's like, well, I guess you're gonna need a hard drive. It's like, oh yeah, right, sure. with all the age that's on that computer, he's probably better off with something he knows is gonna hold up for a while. So we'll see how it works out for him.
We're gonna go ahead and try to add her. Let's see here. Let's see.
See if you can pull this off.
Yeah, we'll see.
I'd like to just sit back and intently wait, but that's kind of boring for the audience, so I'm just going to ramble here a little bit.
I'm gonna try here. Let's see.
All right.
You can hear that, right?
No.
No?
Oh, I was supposed to.
Yeah. Okay. Now, where is the dial pad? Isn't there a dial pad?
You don't need a dial pad. Is she on your Skype list?
Yeah, she should be.
Well, you should be just go by the username, right?
She's not on the Skype list. All right, wait.
Oh no!
Let's see.
That could create an issue.
Oh no!
All right, hang on here. Let's see. Call.
Yeah, well, yes, I could create an issue because if she tries to call in, I might not let him add her because she's not on the list.
Well,
I don't know. Things have been pretty funky with Skype lately. So, it's kind of a hit or miss thing,
No,
wait,
Skype has a mind of its own.
Just wait. Hang on. Let's see if this works.
Hanging.
Let's see if this works. Could I have just discovered something new?
Maybe.
Okay, I guess Skype isn't going to let me in for some reason.
Oh, well, okay. Well,
yeah, well, that's nothing new you discovered there, Mike. So.
Well, yes, I did.
No, because it's on my...
Go ahead, Michelle.
I'm sorry. Welcome back.
Uh-oh.
Hi.
Oh, okay.
And good, you?
Yeah.
Right.
What did it... Yeah, it looks like it's trying, but it's not working. So I guess we'll just do audio for tonight, and maybe next week we can get the video going.
There you go.
All right, that works.
There you go. There's an idea.
Well, that absolutely works. So I guess that's what we're gonna do, and then I will fix this, move this over. Hey, look at that! There we go. Now we're streaming and we can see people. Okay, so
forgive me, Michelle, but Michael's not a Boy Scout. Tell us a little about yourself. What do you do?
Oh, well, I work full time as an account rep for a thermal oxidizer company.
Thermal oxidizer?
Yeah, basically it's a giant catalytic converter that's used for the exhaust stream on ethanol plants, wastewater treatment plants.
Oh, okay.
Things like that. Big, huge pieces of equipment the size of small homes, basically.
Okay.
That are used to kill off the VOCs in the emission stream. And then on top of that, I've known Michael for a couple of years, working with him with some of the various veteran suicide prevention organizations.
Oh, okay.
I actually have talked to you guys before and was on the show before. I was with Stop the 22 a Day for over a year.
All right. Okay.
Yeah, I just kind of been hanging a little low down here in Oklahoma for the last year, battling some personal stuff and some health issues and everything.
Yeah.
And then I actually am in process of gearing up to start my own bakery / coffee shop, but I'm trying to figure out where I'm going to put it.
Coffee.
Currently doing a lot of the baking and stuff through the local farmers market and selling out on almost a weekly basis. And my eventual goal is to set up shop somewhere down here, just kind of trying to figure out the area and figure out what town I want to put it in. Thinking possibly Vernon, Texas at this point.
Why Texas?
And well, where I'm at in Oklahoma, I'm 20 miles from the Texas border.
Yeah.
And, it's one of those things.
Region or what?
Is there a tax benefit or?
No, not really. It's more of a location kind of thing. A lot of the towns out here, like I'm in Frederick, Oklahoma right now, which is a town of about 3,000 people.
Okay.
And there's really not a whole lot here.
Yeah.
There is nothing. I mean, we've got a grocery store, a couple mom and pop restaurants, and a couple dollar stores. And that's about it.
And one red light.
Currently, the north corner of Texas or what?
Oklahoma. Well, where I'm at, I'm about if you know where Lawton, Oklahoma is, I'm about an hour from Lawton. So Fort Sill.
You know where Cleveland is? Go ahead.
Yeah. Well, I'm actually originally from Toledo.
West side. Far west side.
Yep. Well, Michelle, you went through a lot. I mean, you fought in court and did everything, from our personal, conversations, and you fought like the Dickens. I mean, just to get, to be able to enjoy your son, and then you went down there and
right.
you've overcome illness, the courts, and everything, and finally, of course, you've always been one of those people that have just baked, oh my goodness, heavenly things, and kind of created this business. But I mean, tell us a little bit about all that, because I know that you've been through a lot, and you really have, and it's an inspiration when you look at all the people that are going through something that you've been through.
That kind of intrigued me. I'm actually making it through CPS.
Well, long story short, I'm originally from Toledo, Ohio area, from a big Italian family. They're outside of Toledo in Maumee. And I was living in Illinois because of my ex-husband. And we separated in 2006, divorced in 2007. And he had very little to do with the kids for a long time. The kids were really little when we split. And then he got remarried, and his wife convinced him to try to get custody of the kids because she didn't like him paying child support. And the county that we were dealing with in Illinois is actually known to be the most corrupt county. We got stuck with our original judge retired, and we got rolled over to a newly appointed judge to the bench who is a Teamsters back judge, and my ex is a Teamster. So about 3 years ago, I lost residential custody of my children to my ex-husband due to the sole fact that he was married and remarried, and I wasn't.
Uh-huh.
I was the mom who helped coach their sports teams, who was involved with their school, who knew all of their frions.
Soccer mom.
Well, not just the soccer mom. I mean, I was the mom who everybody else's kids called mom.
Right. Yeah.
You know what?
Um,
See, that's a shame in your benefit. All right, and I'm going to throw this one out there. Okay, so okay, you left and you got remarried, and all of a sudden, well, that broad knew what she was getting herself into. Okay, so you were married and already made family, even though you do not have custody of the kids. And we can't have this. Look at my money going out the window for this
right.
kid,
Yeah.
which is bullshit. Yeah.
Well,
That's right.
yeah, and in the midst of all of that, my daughter was diagnosed with a rare heart disease that I actually became very involved in the organization for that. My daughter has restrictive cardiomyopathy. And cardiomyopathy in kids is rare to begin with, but her specific type is the most rare of the types.
Right.
And there's no treatment other than a heart transplant if and when she gets sick enough to qualify. Now, as of right now, she's still been stable and still in kind of the holding pattern of watch and see what might happen. But my ex in his current life refused to even understand what her disease is all about.
Geez, man. Let me ask you. So, you were there when this was acknowledged. You have been dealing with that, and then all of a sudden, this broad comes in here, and I'm going to put it that way, and says, well, you got to get the cats because it's a money thing, even though she doesn't even know what she's getting herself involved in. Yeah, that's okay. But.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and I mean it was hellish. They started this all in. My daughter was diagnosed in 2010, 2011, and it was a freak diagnosis. Like she had blacked out at her dad's, fell and hit her head, and needed stitches. And while in the emergency room, they did an EKG, and that's what prompted them to realize something might be wrong. Prior to that, she had been a cheerleader. She'd been super healthy, super active. So we had no warning. And I mean, ugly court battle that dragged on for over 5 years cost me, I'm still paying out on all of it. Total probably adds up to about $40,000. And, and I'm a single mom. I work a decent job, but I don't get paid great. So, because my kids came first. And that was how I had always looked at it. So long story short, throughout all of this, my daughter and son were forced to go live with their father 3 years ago. Against their will. They were given no say. There was a lot of other stuff going on. I was involved with a disabled Marine who suffers from multiple TBIs as well as PTSD. Was helping him through his health issues, doing all this other stuff, and a lot of other family garbage involved in all of it. Kind of a crazy story, he's got grown children who have caused some chaos, to put it mildly. And my son stayed strong through the process. My ex tried to get my son diagnosed as schizophrenic or whatever he could diagnose him as to try to keep him from succeeding in life, period. My son is going to be 17 years old in August. He's an amazing young man.
We call that manipulation.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's
well, manipulation, abuse. Mike saw some of the pictures of my son when I first got him back, but I don't know that Mike even knew. When I got Anthony back in November, because his father basically just threw him at me and said, "Here, take him. I can't handle him anymore."
He wouldn't conform.
I picked my son up
and he wouldn't conform.
Yeah,
and he was angry, and he had every right to be angry because he was trying to be poisoned and then manipulated. And he's a bright young man. And I've talked with him a few times, and he's just a very bright young man, and which isn't uncommon for kids that have ADHD and ODD and anxiety and stuff like that.
And honestly, the only thing that Anthony has ever been diagnosed with is dyslexia. he's very smart. He's also very much a smart ass, which I'm his mother, so I can admit that.
You trained him well.
Yes. And he stayed strong. He's a fighter. When I got him back in November, he had bruises from his father. He was about 15 pounds underweight because they weren't allowing him to eat. Literally, they were allowing him a single peanut butter sandwich for lunch during the day.
Unreal.
And that was it. And he was never a big kid. I mean, he's a big kid in the fact that he's about 6 foot tall right now and sits at about $170.
Yeah.
So not a huge kid. At his heaviest, he was sitting at about 180.
Yeah.
And that was before a growth spurt.
Yeah, that happened quick.
Yeah. No, and he really is. He's an amazing kid. He is now a senior in high school. He plans on going in the military right out of high school. He's all about serving his country and putting it on the line and doing what he can for other people. You know, I'm blown away on a daily basis by just how strong he really is. And when I tell him that, he looks at me and he goes, "Yeah, but look who raised me."
Yeah.
Yeah. He's one of those kids that really has his head on straight. And as Michael's talked to him a couple times. He's not a typical 16-year-old kid in any way.
Right.
We'll sit and carry on discussions with you about military history, politics, the world in general, at a level that most 40-year-olds could barely handle.
Wow.
You know, so I'm very proud of him. My daughter, unfortunately, and I'll tell the whole story. My daughter, throughout all of this, has been manipulated and turned against me with a bunch of lies. To the point of, ridiculousness. Literally, I was a National Merit finalist in high school, and her stepmother has tried to convince her that could have never happened because I was too stupid. But yet, literally, my children have seen the newspaper clippings, have seen the certificate, have seen the plaque on the wall at my old high school.
Yeah.
But she's chosen to believe this. She's 14.
If it's drilled into your mind enough, and it's drilled into your mind enough, it's kind of like all these lies. If people say it enough, they think it becomes true. It doesn't mean that it is.
Well,
but that's
cognitive dissonance.
And,
yes.
And they've even turned her against her own brother, where Anthony has not even had contact with his sister since her birthday in January.
Yeah, see, they call that cognitive dissonance. Is when your core beliefs are just so strong that no matter what evidence anyone shows you, you still won't believe it.
Right. And she's a smart girl, and I love her dearly, and I miss her horribly, but I can't fix what she's chosen right now.
Right.
And until she gets to the point where she is ready to hear the truth and face reality, there's really nothing I can do.
Well,
except for continue to love her from afar.
Yep.
And, be there when she finally comes back to reality. And I will always love her. And, I hope that
daughter,
she...
Of course.
Well, exactly. And we used to be super, super close. So it does break my heart. And in the midst of all of this, because of everything else, I have battled stage 1 cervical cancer in the last 18 months and beaten it. I've battled lupus, and I have to battle it naturally because I'm allergic to the medications.
Yeah.
And have it under control, whereas a year ago it was not under control. Granted, I take a handful of various herbal supplements every day, but
It's not pharmaceutical.
Well, it's all things like turmeric and curcumin and cinnamon and
Right. It's not
fish
pharmaceutical.
oil, and absolutely not pharmaceutical,
Exactly.
and zero side effects. And as Michael saw my post on Facebook earlier today, and I'm going to be really totally open and honest. 7 months ago, I was walking around wearing a size 16, and as of this weekend, I am now wearing size 7-8 jeans.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, it's an amazing story. Oh, Michelle, my heart goes out to you because, we've had our discussions with the lupus and, how unforgiving it is and cruel.
Yes.
But,
yes.
And it still rears its ugly head here and there. And when it does, then, you got to ride it out, and that's all you can do, and hope for the best.
Well, exactly. And, right now I spend my days working, and I've put a garden in my backyard and taking care of the dog. And, with the whole bakery thing, I'm actually also doing all natural dog treats because I am caring for my, whatever you want to call him, who's now kind of walked away from me. I've been caring for his service dog while he took off and ran away from his own children. And she got sick, and it turned out that she had a red dye allergy. And it's very difficult to find treats for a German Shepherd that do not have red dye in them.
Yeah.
So I now make her all natural dog treats, and I'm actually selling them. And she loves them. She's spoiled rotten.
So now, is lupus that inconsistent? There's no rhyme or reason for anything in particular that triggers it? It just, all of a sudden, here I am. Hello.
The sun will do it. Like my body, myself. To give you an idea, I cannot absorb vitamin D. So because of that reason, they have me on twice a week. I take a total for a week of 100,000 UTIs of it. Michelle, is that what it's called? I have to look at the jar. Anyway, which is a phenomenal amount. I mean, it's really high. That's how low mine is. So if I'm out in the sun too long and I'm exposed to it too long, it will kick me into a flare. I will swell. I will feel lethargic. I will feel joint pain like there's no tomorrow. So the sun is basically my enemy. I love the sun, but it's one of those things that it'll beat the snot out of you. When you have different sicknesses, it exasperates those. There's just so many different things. Rashes pop up for no reason. If I have allergies to something, that can send you into a flare. You're exposed.
You get bit by mosquitoes too much, it can send you into a flare. And with lupus, in kind of to counterpoint that, everybody's symptoms are kind of similar across the board, but lupus is one of those diseases that it resides in your body, and it can pick and choose where this month it's going to hit a flare that's going to primarily be external. 2 months down the road, it could hit a flare that's going to affect your kidneys. 3 months down the road, it could hit your lungs. 6 months later, it could hit and affect your heart.
Yeah, you just don't know where it's going to go.
So
you never know. You never know. And and triggers for everybody are different. For like with Michael, he can't do sun, whereas for me, the sun is actually beneficial.
Yeah.
So everybody's a little different with it. Well, plus, let's face it, I'm just a mutant anyways. So
so am I. Stress triggers it. Stress is
one of the biggest issues.
The biggest issue.
Stress is one of the biggest issues with
for everything.
Yes, but
for everything, absolutely.
But it's one of those things with lupus that when you get under a lot of stress in your body, because you're kicking so much endorphins and everything else to do with it, it finds the weakest spot. It's like a bully. It goes and it finds the weakest spot, and then it wants to beat the crap out of you.
The hardest thing to do is to look at something and say, Oh well, it was bound to happen that way.
Oh, you can
And
look
move
at it that
along,
way.
and no, without the stress, I mean, is everything bothers everyone.
Well, and that's where, for me, the biggest thing has been truly cutting as much of the unnecessary stress out of my life. And, with everything that I've gone through, sometimes that's hard to do.
Yep.
But
Yeah,
you have to put it in perspective. And,
it is.
like the guy that I spent the last 10 years with, do I still love him dearly? Yeah, I do. But at this point in time, his existence is so stressful that it was actually killing me
Wow.
to
He can't
have
love
him
himself.
in my life.
He can't love himself, so you can't expect him to. It's one of those things. I mean, that's real hard. I mean, relationships are very hard. Moving's very hard. She's went through court. She's went through moving. She's went through starting a life in a completely foreign area. Okay, and then having extra family come in, cramp the situation, make it twice as hard. When she's already got this going on, and placed so far away from her daughter on top of it, and then trying to get the business going and everything
And
else.
no actual family for me in the area.
Yeah.
I mean, my family is all over the country, but the majority of it is they're still in Ohio.
You got a city down there named after my family.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bixby.
Yep. So, but
Yeah.
I mean, it's
Yeah.
difficult, but you fight through it and you keep fighting and you get up every day and you make your coffee and you just do what you got to do.
There it is.
One day at a time. Yeah, make the coffee.
There it is.
Yeah.
Make the coffee and do what you have to do. And, I'm still involved in several of the veteran organizations. I'm not actively involved at this point because, of course, Stop the 22 a Day disbanded back in February.
I heard that.
Yes.
That's too bad.
Internal issues. We'll just put it that way.
Uh-huh.
And kind of allowed internal bickering amongst the members to destroy a great organization.
The balls took over the body.
Yeah.
It was sad.
And but I'm still very involved with Guardian search investigations. Do a lot with missing veterans. I'm eventually, once I truly get on my feet and I'm ready for it, they've already asked me to come on board with them. I have another friend who is in the process of gearing up to start up another 501c3 to help raise awareness for veteran issues and especially the suicide rate. And he's doing it kind of really interestingly. Mike, I don't know if you've ever come across Frank Wynn, also goes by Rooster. He's very tied in with all the people with ThreatCon 5 and some of the organizations like that. And he's starting up a group that is going to be taking custom hot rods, specifically custom motorcycles and custom trucks, and going around to all the different events to help raise awareness and raise funds for the organizations that are out there fighting the veteran suicide rate.
Yeah, I've been trying, Michelle, to get Carter Davis on from Lift for 22. And, they're one of those, they're the ones that basically they buy the gym memberships and help the veterans out at no charge to the veterans.
Right.
And they're a 501c3. Right. And, I haven't heard back from Eric, but I keep pressing him. I have to send him another email. But, that's one of the groups. I think it's important. And let me know what you do because I love doing that too. And we had a great team.
Oh yeah.
Yes,
we did.
And we were a fine oiled machine when push came to shove during those crisis times for some of those veterans. And I'm thankful that God gave us the resources and the wherewithal to handle those situations because it's awful. But I'll tell you what, listen, we got to take a break. Michelle, please stick around, please, if you would.
I will.
Okay, and I
Will
am,
do.
you'll all be able to talk amongst yourselves here in just a minute. I'm pulling up my magic jukebox right now. First, I have to transition. There we go. We all just disappeared. And then I'm going to pull up this thing, and I think tonight we're going to go with a little bit of my wife loves this song, so I'm going to play this one called "A New Beginning" by Ben. www.bensound.com. So here we go.
Somebody making bubbles?
Oh, I was giving the dog more water.
Oh.
Open Eyes Network now airs a live simulcast on YouTube. Our YouTube channel, youtube.com/c/Open Eyes Network, features not just our live content, but other videos as well, and is always active. So now you can tune in many different ways. Open Eyes Network shows air Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time live. Be sure to visit OpenEyesNetwork.com to find easy-to-use links to get to all of the places that you want to listen to our shows. And don't forget, all of our shows will now be archived as well on YouTube.
There is a better radio show, beyond that which is known to the people. It is a radio show more informative than others, and as timeless as infinity. It is the equilibrium between light and dark, between the sheeple and the paranormal, and it is heard at the base of man's ignorance and at the summit of his knowledge. This is the radio show of imagination, a show we call The Secret Teachings.
Open Eyes is dedicated to finding the truth in all matters. We are not afraid to be politically incorrect or to ask questions. Whether it is the paranormal, government cover-ups, the dark agenda that the puppet masters have in store for us, or aliens and UFOs, nothing remains hidden. Listen to Open Eyes, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays starting at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on LateNightInTheMidlands.com or OpenEyesNetwork.com. Open hearts, open minds, open eyes. Ben Franklin said, "If you do the same thing tomorrow as you did today, you're going to get the same tomorrow as you got today." Changing the world starts with you, and changing you starts with changing the way you think. Late Night in the Midlands can help. Listen to all of our shows at LateNightInTheMidlands.com, because things really do need to change.
And we're back, and I'll tell you what, it is now Tuesday, and it is the 13th of June, and with us tonight, always, my hosts here, I've got Skillzzz and Papa Bear, but our very special guest, we have Michelle with us still, and, well, at least I hope she's with us still.
I'm here.
Wonderful. And you know, while we're at it, why don't you let the listeners know exactly where they can get these dog treats you've been talking about here, and we'll just roll from there.
Okay, well, I am working on setting up the Facebook page, and I will be, as of probably tomorrow, fully set up on Facebook, where I will be accepting orders online and set up to ship them all over. The ones that I primarily make for the dogs right now are a mixture of whole wheat, pumpkin, and peanut butter. About the only other ingredient is eggs. There's no sugar to them and no preservatives. And yeah, even people like to eat them.
All love that.
I have a friend who likes to take them with him to work and snack on them while he's working at the cotton gin.
Yeah.
Because they're high in protein.
Yeah.
And anyways, the name of the company is Maz Bakery, so M-A-S Bakery. Actually, it's M-A''S. Currently, they can pick them up if they're in person at the Vernon Farmers Market. I'm out there every Saturday morning. And I'm also doing various cookies and breads. Last week was dark chocolate cranberry oatmeal cookies. I also did a fresh blackberry white chocolate oatmeal cookie, a double chocolate chip cookie, and kind of vary the cookie types each week. Last week and this week, I will be featuring zucchini bread. I also do, all the different standards like the pumpkin bread and banana bread and things like that. And then eventually we'll be adding in donuts and all kinds of other goodies. So if you're anywhere near Vernon, Texas, come out and check me out at the farmers market on Saturday mornings. But once again, the Facebook page will be up and running tomorrow. And as to future purposes with it, my goal is to make it a very veteran-friendly place. Veteran and first responders will be the theme of kind of the whole atmosphere of the place, and to really give people a place that they can just come in and get a real cup of coffee, not something foofy that takes you 5 minutes to order, and grab a piece of pie, a piece of cake, sit down and socialize with the community. And it will be tied to several different veteran organizations that part of the proceeds will be donated back. Because, of course, that's one of my huge passions is giving back to the community, but especially our veteran organizations.
Right. Judy's eyes have lifted up here as you're talking about all these baking goodies and everything. So
and you keep telling me where you are. You might get kidnapped just so you can cook. I'm a veteran, so at least I got a leg up.
Yeah, Judy
I'm
wants
Italian,
to know.
So I've grown up cooking.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Judy wants to know, Michelle, are you going to try to make any zucchini cookies?
Zucchini cookies. Phenomenal.
Zucchini cookies that's something that I could very easily do. I have some recipes that I've done zucchini cookies in the past.
With the brown sugar and the butter?
Right now I'm kind of in a weird area where the zucchini bread sells, but people down here really like their sweets to be sweet.
Yeah, she wanted to know if you make them with the what is it? The brown
sugar and butter.
The brown sugar and butter.
Well, she said no, they like sweets down there, so she's got to do the cherry stuff.
Did you hear that, Michelle?
I heard her say something about brown sugar and butter, but I couldn't hear the rest of it.
She was talking about if you made the zucchini cookies with the brown sugar and butter, and what else?
Yes, I do.
Do you ship internationally?
I haven't been asked that question, but I suppose it's possible. I'm just not sure how well they would arrive.
Okay.
They might kind of be crumbled up a little bit, but
Right.
Shipping to Ohio would not be a problem.
Well, no, one of my friends from Australia asked.
Oh, Tom.
Oh, well.
Tom. Yeah, Tom's one of those guys. He'll sniff around in the closet or wherever he can to get himself a good snack.
Sweet cookie?
My only concern would be that they might be kind of broken up by the time that they would arrive. But yeah, that's something we could work out for shipping arrangements.
Right.
He wouldn't care. He just
the biggest thing is, the biggest thing is everything that I do is completely all natural with no preservatives. And the cookies, And honestly, all of it can be frozen. So it's something that could be frozen and then shipped, and then thawed out on the other end.
Provided it stays frozen while it's shipped.
Well, as long as you're not
Or you
talking
can
that it's
pre-freeze it. You can freeze it before you ship it, you mean?
Yeah, styrofoam and dry
freeze it
ice.
before I ship it, which would keep it, or you can ship it in dry ice if need be. Yes,
Right.
depending on shipping times and how he would want it shipped.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I
there you have
do, and I do brownies. And right now, blackberry season is really big down here. So this coming week, it's going to be the blackberry white chocolate oatmeal because I sold 9 dozen of them in under an hour.
Blackberries are good.
See, when you're selling like that, you know, I got to tell you, you got to expand. So.
Oh yeah.
That's one of those things. It's time to expand and you know, start shipping that stuff. I mean, don't forget about me.
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
Well, you know, just let me know what it is that you would like.
Well, I'm gonna have to go with what she said. She wants that zucchini cookies with the brown sugar and butter. So.
Okay.
You know, I'm guessing that's that's her thing. For me, I've been trying to stay away from the sweets. However, if you have something down there, you said cherries and blackberries, so you know, pretty much that's right up my alley. So I'll take anything like that. The fat kid inside of me wants something like that. So
okay.
He's in there.
Well, we'll have to get a box out for you this week.
I got a fat kid inside of me. The thing is, he stayed inside. He never came out.
Well, what is it that you would like in your care package, dear?
Oh my! I wouldn't even know. No. Carry on. You're doing fine.
Oh, just tell her what you want. My goodness. You got to tell her what you want. Skillz, what do you want?
Yeah. I'm not the big snacking guy. I mean, you know, I try to maintain my girlish figure. I weigh 135 pounds, and
you need a cookie.
I don't eat much. I just don't eat much.
You need a cookie.
You need a cookie.
Hey, you need a cookie. Yeah, right.
Skillz, what do you want?
Forget that. How about some banana bread, man? That's what I'm talking about.
Banana. Now you're talking banana bread.
See?
Yep.
There you go. There you go, Michelle.
Okay.
Banana bread.
Banana bread.
Yep.
Now you're gonna have to
know
where to ship it, right?
Yeah. You guys will have to send me your addresses.
You gotta send it north.
Send it towards.
Well, and I will be making a trip north towards Ohio at some point this summer. Anyways, I got to go up and see my mom and see the family. So.
Yeah. No, I'm northeast.
She's up
he's
toward.
up in Maine. I'm in Ohio.
Yeah.
I actually lived in Maine for a year.
Really?
Yeah, I lived in Portland for a year.
Oh, you poor thing. Portland? Probably the biggest town we have, Portland, you know. It's bigger than the capital.
Yeah, it wasn't my favorite place. There were some really great people there, but it was beautiful. But it was not one of my favorite places to live.
Does she bake Anzac cookies?
They're big on the native thing up here, you know. You've got to, you know, if you're not a native from Maine, then, you know, look out, you know.
What's an Anzac cookie? ANZAC cookie. Is that kind of like an Aztec cookie, or is what is an Anzac cookie?
Is that a misspell of Xanax?
No, there's actually, if you look up, there is a cookie that is called an Anzac cookie.
I'm going to look this
up. It's more of a gluten-free kind of cookie. So it's oats and coconut and Yeah, it's coconut and oats, and you can make it gluten-free, or you don't have to, and it includes, let me guess, is that your friend from Australia that's asking about the Anzac cookie? Because it looks like that's more of a Australian and New Zealand kind of thing.
She's cueing you, man. I didn't ask for the cookie.
Yeah, well, that's actually Tom. Tom was asking about that again.
Yeah.
Tom ought to just call in and be done with it.
Well, yeah.
And there he is. All right,
there he is, right?
Let me. Well, he was.
There he was.
Well, see what happens.
What's the matter, Tom? You radio shy, or
No,
did he mess you up?
He knows that I'm going to call. Tom is very good. He knows that I'm going to call him right back. See, hang on.
Yeah.
And then I can add him. There we go. He knows the drill.
Amen. And yeah, bring in Thomas.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll bring him right in.
Amen.
There he is. He's on his way.
And let me shrink this down. And there he is.
Speak.
Thomas.
Hello.
Thomas.
Hello, Tom.
How are you? No, trust me, if you make Anzac biscuits, you will sell them out quicker than anything else once people try them.
What is golden syrup? Because I've never heard of golden syrup. I'm looking at a recipe for Anzac biscuits right now.
Ooh, it's kind of like maple syrup in a way. Probably made from something similar. But,
corn syrup?
Okay.
Yeah, it might be a corn syrup type thing. I'll have to look into it before I finish work since I'm trying to slack off a bit to waste time.
Okay.
But, yeah, try them. They're awesome. But yeah, ship internationally because all I do is think about food out here in the fields.
Yeah.
Well, I will tell you, it looks like I can order golden syrup. Is there a specific brand that's better?
Blackstrap molasses.
Yeah.
Skillzzz has a whole jug of it somewhere.
Yeah.
Well, because as I'm looking it up, it says it's also called light treacle. It's a thick amber-colored form of inverted sugar syrup.
Inverted sugar syrup.
Is that like a euphemism for high fructose? What is
Yeah.
it?
Well,
Just
it
kind
kind
of
of looks similar. It looks similar to what we would consider just a like the
inverted is normally upside down, so I'm trying to think of how this would work. I mean, it's liquid and something. You're probably not going to get it upside down too well.
It looks similar by what I'm seeing. It looks similar to what we call corn syrup, like a dark corn syrup. Right. So you could probably make it with that, but if you're going to do it traditionally, I would want to get in some of the golden syrup and try it.
Is that like
the actual traditional way?
Is that a heated syrup? Is that what that is? Like it's been heated or something?
No. You pour maple syrup out of a tin or something like that, but it's a bit thicker.
Oh.
Okay. Thicker. Well, molasses is thicker than syrup.
That's what I was thinking. Something similar to molasses, but not quite as much.
Oh,
okay, as I'm reading up on it, it looks like it tends to be a mix. Well, depending on what brand, it tends to be a mixture of corn and inverted syrup, similar to a maple syrup.
Okay.
Inverted syrup. I'm still puzzled.
Yeah, I don't know. Syrup, that's exactly what it's saying.
Is that like
to
not
me, that sounds really weird.
It's railroaded the show.
Is that like a sour syrup?
That's like one of those things, like triple virgin olive oil or something like that. Like, how does that work? Yeah. We've had this discussion before.
I gotta get back to work.
Oh, you mentioned you're making dog treats. And you're making them from ground wheat.
Yes.
Forgive me, but I found the wheat is about the worst thing on the market these days. You can't find anything that's not genetically modified.
Did Tom?
Well,
Tom hung
yeah.
up on us.
Yeah, but for the fact that my lovely Miss Electo, regular flour, she can tolerate whole wheat flour, but if I use regular flour, it nobody wants to be in the same room with her afterwards.
Okay. All right. Do we have a caller, Mike?
Well,
I'm sorry. No, we don't.
No, we don't. Somehow or another, I don't know.
No, it's okay. Tom is gone.
Yeah. I
My apologies.
I don't know what I'm doing here.
I don't know what you're doing there either.
I'm working on it.
We all wonder that at times about you, dear.
Hey, as long as we have the audio, I guess we're good.
Well, I'm trying to. This is not doing what I. What am I doing?
So I'm going to have to get a hold of you somehow and give you my address so you'll know where to send my banana bread.
Yes.
I'll give you something for, donation or something. Shipping, whatever. You can't take this out of your pocket, right? You're a struggling single mom. Or am I enough?
Well, in my costs, honestly, I keep my costs low because I'm doing it out of my home kitchen.
Right.
And because, I'm selling it at the local farmer's market.
Right.
So, and with my goal being to eventually open my own place, I'm in the process of just building the name right now.
Right.
So I do a dozen cookies for $4,
Uh-huh.
and a loaf of zucchini bread, pumpkin bread, banana bread for $5 a loaf, and they're a full-size loaf.
Yeah.
So, I keep the costs low because also I'm not in this is a really heavily agricultural area.
Right.
So if I price it too high, nobody's going to buy it.
Right. Yep, I can understand that.
But I will tell you, I typically sell 26 dozen cookies on a Saturday morning.
Wow. That's awesome. That's great.
Do you really sell that much now?
I really am selling that much now. I am selling 26 dozen cookies plus several dozen dog treats plus several loaves of bread and typically a couple pans of brownies as well.
Wow.
In a matter of about 3 hours.
Is it pretty profitable? I mean, I don't know what you're selling them for, but I mean, has it been at least enough to make it worthwhile?
I'm going to be really honest, I'm bringing in about an extra $80 a week doing it, which may not seem like a whole lot.
Not bad.
But, every little bit helps sometimes, especially, my ginormous 16-year-old just hit growth spurt where he grew almost 3 inches in the last 6 weeks.
Wow. Yeah.
So an extra $80 really helps the grocery bill and helps to replace some of those clothes that he has decided to outgrow.
Yeah. Wow. That's fantastic. I didn't realize that. That's fantastic. So, the only thing I have to offer anyone, for sale is pain and suffering.
Yeah. I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it for a minute.
Yeah.
Are you aware of this? I have seen this before, where mothers whose sons have gone off to college and they go in and clean up the room, and good heavens, they put their socks and underwear up on eBay and sell them. Oh, yes.
Ew.
Believe me when I tell you that. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Ew, just gross.
I've never really...
Yes. Yeah.
I couldn't even imagine what's on eBay.
Oh.
That just...
I couldn't imagine wearing someone else's used underclothing. It's, I don't know.
It's a warm and fuzzy feeling.
An issue where it's, hey, you can wear anything here but like underwear. Oh, gee, why might that be? Yeah. I don't know.
So, how long does it take you to make, all those cookies? We're just moving right along
Quick,
now.
quick, divert. divert.
Thank you for the subject change. Well, the good thing is my full-time job, I work from home. So it's one of those things where I typically start baking like Friday afternoon. And, I get all my supplies and my doughs and everything pre-made Friday morning before work. And, in between phone calls and emails and everything else, I'm shifting out pans in the oven and doing that throughout the day on Friday. I do have a friend who every once in a while comes over and helps. But when she shows up, she's got a 1-year-old and a 2-year-old in tow.
Oh, yeah.
So sometimes that's not a whole lot of help.
But it's company. It's help, but it's company.
Yeah.
Which is good.
Oh, yeah.
So,
because I've been cooking for so long, I learned to cook at my grandmother's knee at probably, starting at, we've got pictures of me at 2 years old, sitting on the stool in the kitchen helping her mix batters and mix dough and mix pie crust and stuff. So I've just kind of grown up that way. So for me, a double batch of cookies takes me top to bottom probably 2.5 hours.
Wow. Yeah, that's
unreal.
Yeah. I mean, and so that's not too bad. I mean, it's an all-day event, obviously. So there's a lot of work that goes into it.
Yeah.
So you should make some good money from it. I mean, you're the labor and everything like that. Yeah. Sounds good to me.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, and everybody enjoys them. And, because I've really only started doing this past month. But my friends have been bugging me to start a bakery and do this, probably for the last 20 years. But I'm, well, yeah. And, they've all enjoyed all of it all along because I'm that woman who, like, at Christmas time, I buy very few Christmas presents. I make probably 90% of the Christmas presents that I give people. One of the things that I do, especially for a lot of the elderly in the area, is I do up care packages of Christmas cookies and put together boxes and deliver them to their doors.
Right
before Christmas.
In all sincerity, what's currently holding you back? Just a financial scenario?
It's a financial scenario, but it's also making sure where I want to put it. And really, my son's only home for another year. And I want to have the freedom to spend as much time as possible with him this last year that he's going to be home.
And you want to have your needed, no pun intended, but yeah, I know what you're saying.
Yeah. Because he will be 17 in about 6 weeks. And he hopes to be set up where he ships out to boot camp pretty much right after he graduates from high school.
Listen, I think it's phenomenal. He's going to graduate early as it is.
Right. He will graduate at 17. And as long as we can, because of custody situations and everything, I've already promised him if I can sign the paperwork for him to enlist prior to 18, he plans to already basically be at boot camp when he turns 18.
If he has a diploma, he can.
Yeah.
Well, yes, but it also depends on custody situation. Our custody paperwork as of right now is a little confusing as to whether or not I completely have what would be considered sole custody. And so the recruiters are kind of giving us the runaround in terms of, will he have to wait until he actually turns 18, or will he be able to enlist early? Because as of the last time that he spoke to his father refused to sign the paperwork for him to enlist early.
Of course he did.
Oh, yeah.
And these guys got to make gate. So when they try to make gate, they definitely want to make sure that they've got a recruit that they know does well on the ASVAB test, and they know that is potentially going to graduate on time and everything. But when you have a family member that is causing conflict, such as, but like in South Carolina, now I don't know how it is in Oklahoma, they're actually considered an adult at the age of 17, even though the parents are still responsible for them for living accommodations till they're 18. Then afterward, you'd say, okay, you're done. But
Right.
you know, at 17, they can make a decision. And I mean, I think the way that it works is whichever house they reside in, or their current listed home address, is the one who gets to make those final decisions over residents from afar. But I don't
Sounds
know
like
how
funeral arrangements.
Well, not only that, I mean, not the backpedal, but that on top of that is, I thought you could choose who you wanted to live with at age 14, unless I'm full of crap.
Actually, every state is different,
Yes.
and that was part of what we battled up in Illinois when my ex started all of this back in 2010, 2011. The age in Illinois was 12. And then as my son turned 12, for whatever reason, the state changed the age to 14. And then as he approached 14, they changed the age to 16. And then as he approached 16, they did away with any age on the book.
Hell yeah, okay.
So
She
every
said-
state is different.
On you, watching you like the Truman Show.
Oh,
Hey,
yeah.
really?
Oh,
Let's see it.
It was almost embarrassing and comical at the same time to watch her go through this, because I kept thinking to myself, this is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. And to actually see somebody go through it, and
Yeah.
I was so frustrated for her by that time. I was just like, oh my goodness, this is just ridiculous. And, you know, especially when the ex is friends with, you know, people of importance, shall we say?
Right.
Oh, yeah.
And
Right.
Yeah.
And the sad thing is, guys, I mean, there's thousands of people out there that have similar stories
oh yeah,
Right.
as to how the family
Yeah.
court system has screwed them over.
And that's the
And-
big deal. That is a real big deal. Family courts, child protective services, they're out of hand. They're out of control.
yeah, they are.
Well, you know,
Yes.
you know what? If you're paying child support, I want receipts watching where my money's going. Really, you bought the kids clothes? Okay, let's see the receipts.
Nah,
Boy.
you can't do that,
What?
and I'll tell you why.
That's not
Because
gonna happen.
and the reason
I wanna-
reason for that is, and here's the argument, and it is legitimate. Okay, if you're going to give child support, you're giving child support as support. That could be the powers to the residential area. That could be for internet. That could be a power bill. That could be clothes. That could be food. That could be, and those things
Right.
are support. That
Yeah.
does qualify
If,
as
like,
support.
If you let them get away with that bullshit, yeah.
But
Yeah.
it's
if
not.
You let 'em
it's-
if you don't fight and you let them get away with the way they want to control you, that's the road you go down
That-
to.
now-
Otherwise, you fight it. Period.
Well, here's the thing, okay?
Period.
What she was fighting wasn't that part. The part that she was fighting was the child wants to live with me, okay? The
Right.
support
Custody.
part, yeah, the
Yeah.
custody part.
Right.
The support part, understand something. You know, I've gone through this a little bit, and I can just say that that everything gets expensive. Yeah, I mean, water bills go up, light bills go up. You know, then you got to have internet because you want to get them the best education you can and have them on the internet. Schooling isn't cheap. Clothes aren't cheap. So
Yeah.
support is support. That's
Well,
what it is. And,
Right. And please understand,
No,
you know,
I
for
know
the
that.
first, 7 years, yes, he was paying me child support, but I also was working a much lower paying job than what I could have gotten if I was not solely taking care of my children. And I was paying their daycare. I was paying this. I was paying that. I went years without even buying myself new underwear because there just wasn't money for it. Well, you may do, or you bought the pack. You bought the pack at Walmart for $6, and even if they didn't quite fit right, you may do.
Don't send those with the cookies.
My kids didn't have every little thing. They didn't have all the latest and greatest clothes. They didn't have all the latest and greatest toys. But they had everything that they needed, and they had a mom who had their back every step of the way.
Love.
But I was also the mom. I mean, my ex-husband, when we divorced, over those years, his pay had gone up over $40,000 a year. And I never could take the time to take him back to court to get an increase.
Right.
So my child support 7 years down the road was the same that it was when the children were first, when we first split.
Right.
And yet his pay had gone up over $40,000 a year.
I have a friend down here.
You're going to pay child support, and you're buying this broad a brand new dress or some bullshit like that. That's where I have an issue. All right, that's why I'm talking.
And yes, there's a lot of situations where the parents don't. It's like when the kids had to go live with him, and I'm going to be really honest. He makes triple what I do. When the kids had to go live with him, I had to pay child support to him. Out of the little bit of money that I made.
Yeah.
And guess what? The money was going to pay for his cigarettes, his alcohol, and his fun things.
Right.
Because he didn't need the money to support the children.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, yeah, yours was kind of a very extraordinary travesty of justice.
Well, it happens all the time, Michael. Come on, man.
But
I mean, I've been with my gal for almost 32 years, for God's sakes. 5 kids, 2 granddaughters, and I've watched guys over 32 years go through this BS. Then I've watched illegitimate guys go through it. I just sit back and laugh. But I've seen legitimate guys get jackpotted, and unfortunately get raked over the coals.
Well, let me tell you, it's very hard. Michelle and I have talked about this before. When Judy came down here, and she brought her kids down here, I knew what I was getting. Okay? So, it wasn't that I just wanted her. I understood. So you step up, and that's what you do. It doesn't mean it's always fair, because it's been anything but fair. But you step up, you do the right thing, and you try to do the best that you can. And of course, it's a very tough situation. It's a very tough situation, and it's...
Well, they all vary, Michael. I've seen instances where I fell out of love, and the guy was a sincere guy, never cheated on her. I fell out of love, and probably she had that dude on the side anyways, and she has the kids, and now this guy is working 6.
Yeah, I get it. I get it. We lost somewhere there, Skillz. But I get what you're saying. I had a friend, that he was paying pretty close to $1,500 a month for one child. And then I've seen people that have had 3 children that aren't paying $200 a month. The system is broken. Make no mistake about it.
That's an understatement.
Yeah, it's broken. Just like along with many of our systems that need to be fixed, corrected, and everything else. The problem is until
exactly.
It's a corrupt system that's foreign.
Yeah, and it's and unfortunately, what does it take to correct those things? Well, it takes tragedy. It always seems to take a tragedy somewhere along the line before somebody takes notice, because until that point in time, everyone's just like, oh well, that's how it is. And then when something bad happens, hey, can you believe this? And you're like,
Yeah.
really? You didn't see
Yeah.
this coming? You know?
Yeah. Well, actually, yeah, I can believe it. I've seen that movie. Yeah.
What was the clue? The gates coming down, the lights on, and you know, the train whistle from afar. What did you miss? You know?
Yeah. Exactly.
So you know, that's. It's a very tough situation, and every situation's different. And unfortunately, that's the mistake that we make. I mean, I understand states can do different things for each state and everything, but have something that's consistent across the board, okay? And somebody should be able to step in there, even during the time of divorce, that's non-biased, that can step in there and say, okay, look, this is how it's going to go down, and this is what it is. If you can't come to an agreement and you can't work this out civilly, then we'll have to work it out for you. But, you know, and you'd be amazed at how fast people work things out. You know,
we'll do it colonial style, yeah.
Yeah, and you'd be amazed at how fast people are willing to work things out. But it doesn't happen, and then you get... I mean, it's like this. I've seen people that have gone to jail for 30 and 40 years for selling drugs, and yet... I've seen somebody that's had 4 DUIs that has killed the whole family and gotten 10 years.
Yeah.
There's some very egregious, you know, sentences handed down, and there's no justification for it, and a lot of them are unfair, and I mean they are.
Well, it's like there's no precedent anymore. Even when precedent is set, it's gone out the window.
Well, Sean pointed that out to us. We had a guest, Michelle, a few shows back, Mr. Sean Reck, and you know he pointed that out to us. And he works with trying to correct these people that get incarcerated wrongly. But you know he said the same thing, and that's how all the courts are. And I think we have way too many laws. We have laws that are absolutely just ridiculous. And they need to be changed and you know, updated. And some of these ridiculously, just stupidly done laws need to go away. So,
right.
A lot of it has to go away because a lot of it is just plain misunderstanding. And then they push that misunderstanding and they turn it into fraud, believe it or not. But we don't see it. You know, because we've been used to doing things a certain way, and well, you got to do it that way because well, that's the way it's done. Well, why is it done that way? It doesn't matter. That's the way it's done. That's the way we do it. That's the way you'll do it. Yeah. It's like, well, why can't I question the way this is being done? It doesn't matter. That's the way it's done. You just do it.
Yeah, it's almost like somebody comes up with their own interpretation of something. And then you sit there and you have to battle. There's no more innocence till proven guilty. Now it's pretty much you're guilty until you prove yourself innocent. And, you know...
Yeah. And I mean, the thing is, you can't... If you're doing like a lot of patriots are doing and going without license registration and all, you can't answer any questions. I mean, it all has to be questions from your end. You have to reinforce your rights. You know, that's all, and that's all you're doing. Every time you get stopped, that's all you're doing. And then it comes right down. The bottom line is the Fifth Amendment. Yeah. I don't have to give you anything that might incriminate me. I'm not going to give you anything.
Yeah, and good luck with that.
If you waive that Fifth Amendment right, once you answer one question, it's gone. Once you've lost it, it's gone forever. So you better think twice about forfeiting your rights, especially on the side of the street.
Yeah. And, you know, be polite, be nice. That's all. And that'll get you a lot farther. But
no, exactly.
In this case, that doesn't apply. But I'm just saying, you know, watching what's happened with the child laws today, seeing it needs to be fixed. And, you know, a lot of this stuff, I look at all the children disappearing. I look at all the... I don't know where they're going. I know where they're going, but I mean, I don't know where they're going. Yeah. I mean, something bad is happening to them. We're all smart enough to acknowledge that.
We know where they're going.
Yeah. So...
it's too bad they're going there, too. There's no need of it.
Yeah. It's just, and whose fault is that? Is that the court system's fault? We need to hammer down on some of these people and just make it fair.
It's a collaborative effort. You know,
Yes.
it all starts with, hey, we got a spot in the bunker for you.
Yeah. You got a better chance of seeing God in the next 10 minutes to make that unfold.
You got that right.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know, and they're not smart enough to see it. You know, when it comes down to who's getting in the bunker, forget it.
Yep.
And you know, God bless you, Michelle, because you did. I mean, watching you go through everything, the way you handled it, you know, she drove, okay, to go to these court dates, only to have them delayed, and then, you know, had to hang out up there, and, you know, basically, you know, wait till the next opportunity. So tiring. And she did
yeah,
it.
I was doing 15 hours. I would get off work on the day before at 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
I would hit the car and drive overnight to be there for the next day. Just like to see my kids every other weekend. I would do that drive. And it was 15, 16 hours each way.
Gee.
Yeah.
Unreal.
You know, it took a toll, but I did what I had to do for my kids.
Right. Yep.
That to me, that's a prime example. That's motherhood right there. I mean, and yeah, you might say, okay, they didn't have fancy toys and stuff. What they did have was they had a lot of love, and they had a lot of. It was unconditional, and it was just
right.
You know, you smeared that on them like a new toy. So that was just a beautiful thing, and that's what
Michelle,
makes a difference.
Let me ask you a question.
What's that?
How are you doing currently as we speak?
How am I doing currently as we speak? You mean health-wise, what?
Everything. How are you doing?
Health. Health-wise, I am stronger and in a better place than I have probably been in over a decade. You know, and I'm feeling better. I'm feeling stronger. I mean, the last couple years have been hell. You know, between the cervical cancer, I was diagnosed with polycystic ovarian syndrome 20 years ago. So between that and the cervical cancer and the lupus and everything else, yeah, I mean, there's still some health issues there, but you know what? I'm standing strong. I'm fighting it.
All right.
And
have you made it through that cancer? Are you in remission or what's going on?
I am. They performed a surgical procedure on the cervical cancer and got it all. First time out. Didn't even have to deal with chemo or radiation because we caught it at stage 1. So I was very, very lucky. The lupus, I've been, knock on wood, I've had a couple minor flares in the last 8 months, but they've all been what Michael will tell you is more external. So it's more the rashes and kind of the aches and pains. But other than that, I mean, health-wise, I'm doing pretty good. I've had a couple bouts with pneumonia this year, which, you know, that can be kind of tied to the lupus. It's also kind of tied to the asthma and everything else. But health-wise, I'm feeling really strong. I'm feeling really good. Emotionally, with cutting out all of the unnecessary drama and garbage and really coming to terms with who I am.
And Papa will tell you that.
You feel a lot better, huh?
Trim the fat.
Yeah.
Trim the fat, get rid of the stress, get rid of the drama, you know, focus on what's truly important in life.
Yeah.
And, you know, had I kept going with how things were going even 6 months ago, I probably would not be breathing in 5 years.
You know, when I was a youngster, my brother used to look at me and he'd say, hey, if you don't get over it, you're going to die that way, you know? And I kind of applied that to like, hey, you know, you're going to get past this at some point. You just have to decide when.
Right.
But
Right.
but you know, a lot
Right.
of it is
And-
too is your outlets with your friends. It's your outlets with the people that you have. You have that close circle of good friends that you consider family. Okay. And
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
that close circle, those people, believe it or not, can get you right by and help you survive because and people have
Right.
a tendency of meeting and having a group of friends that closely mirror their own life. They can appreciate people that have gone through struggles. You know, Skillzzz and I have known each other since we were kids, and Papa and and I have since we've gotten on this show, and Michelle, you and I since we were working on the pages. But there's that similarity that we've all been through. We've all experienced things in our lives, traumatic things, hard, stressful things, and everything else, and we can appreciate that. So when you have that ear that you can talk to, or you can relate to that person, you can get pulled through some dark times pretty much a lot easier than what you could by yourself.
Some people just
Exactly.
some people just click,
Yeah.
Right.
and that's the big thing. Some people just click, and that's what happened with Skillzzz and I. We clicked, and that happened, but we've been hanging out ever since.
It goes back about 10 years ago, man.
Yeah.
The fluke. The fluke. It was kind
Well,
of.
it's kind of like what happened with Michael and I. We just kind of naturally clicked the first time we got on the phone and had to help a veteran through a crisis, and
Right.
we became
Yeah,
this.
But Michelle, keep in mind, Michael is such a nice, giving guy. He really is. At water is flowers, but he really is. And Michael's so
Water is
easygoing. He
flowers.
always has been. He always has been. Michael is always the guy. Hey, I want to be Michael's friend. Well, that's easy. Just be his friend.
He's an empath.
Yeah.
Well,
Yep.
and that's part of my coming to terms with who I really am. I've always been an empath, and I tried to hide it for so much of my life because a lot of my own family didn't understand, didn't realize, and to this day, some of them are still very uncomfortable with it. That's kind of our whole joke about me being a mutant. My own child looks at me and tells me that he thinks I escaped from Area 51.
Being an empath really sucks because, I mean, being like that, you bear the weight of everyone else on your shoulder,
Oh, yeah.
Right.
You don't need to, but it's
Right.
there, because you feel them.
In other words, if you don't like
And
Mike, I don't like you. I don't want to hear about it. You get away from me.
Michelle
Right.
and I would stay on there, and we would work so hard together and come up with new ideas on how to be more efficient and do the things that we did. I mean, and Karen too. And you had Karen, and you had Jason, and you had just all those people. And when something bad happened, you should see how everyone really came together. I mean, it was incredible.
Yeah.
One person to be looking for
Right.
who's in the area, another person to be looking for family, another person to be looking for what available resources are out there in that area. And I mean, it was incredible. And when you're a part of that, and it's all to help somebody that you don't know, but you know they need
Right.
help,
Yep.
is an incredible thing.
Yeah, but it's a human being. Life.
You know what? Hey, listen,
You know?
we got to take a break again. Okay, Michelle, you're going to stick with us, aren't you?
I will stick with you.
All right.
All right.
And I'll tell you, Skillzzz, why don't you be as kind as to, lead us in?
Lead us out of here.
Good heavens. We will indeed be back in a jiffy, so hang in there.
Open Eyes seeks out the heart of matters, looking for explanations in places that most other radio hosts refuse to go. No subject is forbidden, and nothing remains hidden. Listen to Open Eyes on the Late Night in the Midlands Radio Network, weekdays from 7 to 9 p.m. Open minds, open hearts, open eyes.
The L&M Radio Network and Late Night in the Midlands depends on you, the listener. Without you, there would be no us. So help us continue to bring you the best guests with the best information and subscribe today. Information on becoming an L&M subscriber can be found at the top of LateNightInTheMidlands.com. Just click the About Subscriptions tab and become part of the family while helping the truth stay alive. And while you're at it, maybe subscriptions aren't for you, a one-time donation helps as well. Click that donate button on the right side of LateNightInTheMidlands.com and help us help you.
Electo.
Have you ever heard of Audible? Audible is a website with hundreds of thousands of audiobooks. They're all high quality, easy to listen to, and, best of all, if you take advantage of a special deal that we've worked out for you, you can get one for free. That's right, a free audiobook of your choice in any genre simply by going to audibletrial.com/openeyes and signing up for the free trial. It's simple to do, and it would support the shows that we bring to you, and hey, you get a free book out of the whole thing. So why not take advantage of it today? Go to audibletrial.com/openeyes and sign up for the trial.
Hey, and I'll tell you what, we are back, and we're just having a good time, and I didn't even, had a little glitch there, so I didn't even get to finish up that song, but I really wasn't worried about it. I think we had enough. So, are we all back?
I've had about enough of that, I'll tell you.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, welcome back to Show Us Don't Tell Us on the L&M Radio Network. Michelle, you said you make dog treats. Do you have a website set up or something like that?
I actually just started setting up the Facebook page for Ma's Bakery. So you can find me on Facebook under Ma's Bakery.
Okay.
You know, I'm going to check that out, too, because...
See, you people talk about child custody and, you know, the divorce and all that stuff. Fortunately, I never had to go through that. I never had any children that I know of. Never married. You know, I didn't. It's not for lack of trying. But No, I didn't have to go through that. I guess I'm one of the fortunate ones, you know.
And you had the perfect name to have that too, you know? Papa? You know?
Papa.
Papa.
Yeah. That started with the CB radio.
Yeah.
Started with the CB radio, and it just kept going on. And most everybody I know I met online, they all know me as Papa. And I'm comfortable with that.
Yeah, well,
I've been called a lot worse.
Really? Like what?
Oh, come on. You know, you call me them.
We go down the road. Let's move along in a successful fashion, shall we, folks?
Yeah, let's progress here. Yeah.
Yes.
So dog treats, and she's a cook. Goodness. So Mrs. Claus, I hear you're single. I'm just kidding.
Yes, I am. But
now let's see.
I couldn't help myself. I had to throw that out there. Well, I could, but I couldn't.
Oh, here we go. Okay.
What was that, Michael?
I'm looking now because I found a couple of them. Here we go. You're under Vernon's farmers market, right? Is that where?
Yes.
Okay. Holy smokes! You really do. You bake all that? Holy smokes!
Yes.
I'm looking at. Oh, Papa, these are right on up your alley right here.
Oh,
like you get a copy of that link, I'll send it to my kids with their dogs. Yeah.
Do I smell a road trip coming up?
It's looking that way. Wow. I'll tell you. And I'm taking a look at this one here. Let's see. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, she has some. Look at that.
Something tells me you're on a website that shows some of her bakery items.
I am, and it's got it like her name right there, and then it's Vernon Farmers Market, and
Vernon Farmers Market. Is that like .com or?
No, it just has the way you have it up there. Michelle, tell them exactly how you have it up there, so people can go and take a look.
You can find it if you want to look on Facebook. Look under Ma's Bakery 73542.
Okay.
Because it wouldn't let me just do Ma's Bakery.
Right. 73452.
73542.
Is that apostrophe S there too?
Nope, just MAS Bakery.
Yeah. Thank you, Facebook.
There we go. Holy smoke, look at that. Okay. Well, this thing's trying to give me, why don't you try one of these things instead? No,
that number again?
Yeah.
Ma's Bakery.
73542.
73542. Okay.
Is that all connected together, or is there a space in there at all, or no?
There's no space in there so far. No.
Okay.
So, and I'm still trying to get some pictures put up for it too. So, but if you look at the profile picture, you'll be able to see like what I had at the table last week.
Okay, I got you.
Couldn't find anything.
Yeah, there's some. You got some good ones. Ah, here we go. I tell you what.
No results. Huh.
22 dozen. Look at that. 3 loaves of zucchini bread, 3 pans of brownies, a bag or 2 of dog treats. Came home with enough zucchini from one of the farmers. We swapped goodies for produce. See, I love that bartering. To me.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know that's
awesome.
Yep. Folks, that's called America, right there.
Yeah. Right.
And I'm going to tell you.
If we can keep that up, would be good as gold, man.
Yeah.
Eliminate all the tax and all that crap. Go ahead.
Exactly.
Well, and that's the thing is, I actually have one of my friends that raises chickens for eggs, and so he pays me for a loaf of bread or a dozen cookies each week with at least a dozen eggs. I've got one of the farmers that, he swaps me out whatever produce he has that week. This past week it was like 8 pounds of zucchini for a bag of the cookies.
Wow.
And it's good. I mean, number one, that helps to lower my cost. I've got another friend who has a bunch of pecan trees. So we've worked out a deal where I'll swap him out baked goods for pecans that are fresh. And, yeah.
That's phenomenal.
So, and a lot of that goes on because it's all mom and pop businesses out there.
Right.
And, that's one of the things that I really have fallen in love with down here in this area is the fact that you see so much of the various community members working together and producing their own, and just swapping it that way.
Right.
I think that's how all of them
if
we should run. Everything should be bartered. Everything. No more of this other stuff. You barter. You want to make a deal? Let's make a deal.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep. I won't disagree. Yep.
Bartering is a good thing, providing you have something to trade.
Yes. Well, skills, whatever.
Skills is the main thing. Skills. If you're a tradesman, you're good to go, man. Depending on if you're repairing farmers' equipment or whatever. Go ahead, Papa.
No, exactly. No, you're right. But if you're not, I mean, if you're like an accountant, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or a lawyer or something like that. I mean, what are you gonna sue for, a waiver, right?
In this case,
white collar workers are dead in the water, baby.
Yeah. In this case, the ditch digger would actually have more popularity than the balloon blower.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But baking.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's just when the banker will go to the mechanic. Hey, man, I need your help. It's like, oh, you've humbled yourself, or is this,
baking is probably one of the most important things because the farmer he can grow the food, but if you can't cook it, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the trade. That's a trade. You've got that, Michelle. Yeah. I got to tell you, you got that. Just looking at those pictures, I'll tell you. Holy smokes, that looks good.
Well, actually, Baker's Union, that is indeed a trade.
Yeah.
It really is.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Well, and I can do gluten-free. I can do sugar-free. And, it's one of those things where depending on what people are looking for, and I do all different kinds of cookies and, I even do a really mean pecan pie. As well as a really amazing lemon meringue pie.
That's culinary, baby. That's
but I've
culinary.
grown up doing it.
Lemon meringue, yeah.
Well, let's look at it this way. Like the baker satisfies the stomach of the Skillzzz guy so he can successfully go out and do his job. I mean, come on. Think about it.
Absolutely.
Oh, and perfect example. My buddy that I mentioned that likes to eat the dog treats at work, he's also a mechanic. He just did a bunch of work on the truck for me because I'm currently driving long story, I'm driving an 86 Ford F-150 that needs a lot of work.
Oh, boy.
And we swapped out where, number one, I was helping them with a bunch. They just moved here from Phoenix, was helping them with getting settled in their new house and helping get set up with all of the stuff that they needed done, and helping his wife with a bunch of getting the garden planted and getting the yard squared away and some remodeling. And so he worked on the truck for me and did what, if I would have taken it to a regular mechanic, it probably would have cost $1,500.
Is that the one with the 302 or the 351? What's that truck have in it, Michelle? You know?
306.
It's got the 302. It's got the 4.9 liter.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's actually Chris's truck, and the person that he had work on it had left it in worse shape than if they hadn't touched it. When he let me drive it. And so it was actually at the point where it was dangerous for me to even drive it.
Yeah.
Thankfully, my friend stepped in and did a ton of work on it. Literally, we'll just put it this way, it's a good thing that my father was riding shotgun with me everywhere I went. Because not only should the engine have blown on these various trips that I've taken to Dallas and all over the place to see different people, but it actually should have probably exploded in a fiery inferno. And my dad passed away 14 years ago, so when I say my dad was riding shotgun, he's kind of my guardian angel.
Yeah.
Right.
When the mechanic looks at you and says, "How did this not explode?" you know you have a problem.
Yeah. Yeah.
And, I will be getting a different vehicle here in another month when Chris comes back and takes his truck back, because I have to. But, 3 on the floor, and she runs, but she's had to have a lot of work done. But I was very lucky in that my friend was willing to kind of swap trades, where he was doing the mechanic work and I was helping with a bunch of other stuff and providing food for him.
Yeah. No, that
Keeping
works.
his belly happy.
That's called bartering.
That's what works.
Yep.
So.
Yep. As a struggling single mom, it's always tight, and you've got to figure out what you need to do to economize and how to make ends meet and get where you need to go and do what you need to do. And I'm very lucky in that my health has come in line and I'm able to push myself to do what I need to do. I think the hardest thing about the farmers markets in doing that on Saturday mornings is lately it's been 95 degrees when I'm out there.
Ooh. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a little warm.
But you just stay hydrated and you push through it and you keep a smile on your face and, you talk to people and do what you got to do.
Right.
So, and I've got a lot of skills that I'm able to barter. I mean, Michael, I'm sure, well, I don't know if you remember, but I knit and crochet as well.
Yes, I do remember that.
Yeah. So, I'm that all-around old-fashioned girl that isn't afraid to get dirty.
She's crafty. Yeah.
Well, she is, and,
Yeah. Well, yeah. You do a lot of crafts. That's hard to find. It's hard to find.
Yeah.
And then add on top of it the kindness and the, a heart the size of the sun.
That's why I call them Mrs. Claus.
I don't know what you people are doing out there in Oklahoma, but she's right there in front of you.
Yeah.
So.
Well, honestly, the hardest thing when it comes to relationships for me is that, especially with being an empath, I need someone that is not going to be a negative drain on my energy.
Sociopath.
And sociopath, yes.
Yeah.
And I need someone that understands that I need my space at times.
Oh, yeah.
There are times that I need that downtime to just recharge me.
Right.
And at the same time, I do push myself very, very hard. I stay as absolutely active as I can. I mean, most days I get off work and you'll find me out in my garden digging up ground with a shovel because I don't have a rototiller or anything like that. I do it all by hand with a, old-fashioned shovel. Or over helping to rehab a house or working on a car or in the kitchen cooking and baking and, cleaning and taking care of the animals. And, my friends, a lot of them are raising chickens. So there are times that I get calls to come and help them chase chickens because the chickens got out.
A lot of people are doing that now. They're raising chickens.
Yeah.
Down here, it's a big thing. The eggs and everything else, and then they buy the hen, and they want the big boy. You know?
2 chickens per person, you'll have all the eggs you'll need.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
Yeah, and down here, I got to tell you, most households, if they've been established for a while, I would say probably 1 out of every 3 households, they've got their own chickens, and at least raise them for their own purposes.
Right.
Yeah, it's become a big thing over here too, where they trade them and they, you know, and I mean it's pretty incredible. Now I remember a while ago. Alpacas were a big thing that we're starting.
Yes.
And you know, I guess now the value on those, I never really got that one. I get the chickens, I get the cows.
It's the fur.
Is it the fur?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's the hair. Yeah.
I have always wondered.
Yeah, alpaca. The alpaca fur, they use it for a lot of really high end yarn.
Yep.
Really? Okay. Well, see, there's something I did not know that. That's impressive.
Now you know.
I know now. Yes, I do.
Now you know.
I was always wondering. I'm like, wow.
Story.
That's right.
Got to learn something new. You know, it's going to be one of those things to where I think you're going to see a lot more of that going on today. You know, than what you know, we're kind of traveling. We've got the technology thing, but I'm starting to see people start going backwards. Not backwards I don't mean that in a negative way. I mean back to old ways. They're tired of the big cities. They're tired of the congestion. They're tired of the crime. They're tired of the way things are working out, and you're seeing a lot more people that are just saying, I've had enough, and they're, you know, just changing their lives and going back to these things.
People need to get out of the cities, because when crapola hits the prop, it's already happening over in places in the Middle East. There are cities where they can't get food, where the price is through the roof if you can find it. But you go 10 miles out of town, there's an abundance.
Yeah.
Right.
The Amish
so it's just a matter of being out of the city.
The Amish might be onto something. You know, I mean.
Yeah, they are. They have been for a long time.
I mean, that way of life is, you know, I guess it's maybe we've gotten too dependent on too many materialistic things.
We have.
So.
We have. You know, when you have anarchists that press their message using capitalist methods to do it, you know, there's something wrong. Something is missing in the translation here. Hello, anarchy. You know, it's like every man for himself, right? Who would have built that stuff that technology that you're working on? Capitalism does that, and that's all it does, because it's a means of control.
You know, I just looking at the times from before. I mean, I'm glad that we have some of the technologies we have, and if we could find a happy medium, but too much technology is not a good thing. It's just enough. It's just enough to get us into trouble.
I have to say that the elite who built this whole system and actually gave us the internet and allowed us to communicate, thank God, they stabbed themselves in the foot. And I met a lot of good people. How's that? What can I say? We communicate worldwide now, and we talk truth. We actually do communicate. And the communication is out there. The knowledge is all at your fingertips now. You don't have to go to libraries anymore. My father used to tell me, you don't need a college degree. All you have to, anything you want to know, you'll find in the library. Well, this is right here at your fingertips. And when somebody starts arguing with you about something stupid like climate change, and they say, well, show me the facts. I'm interested in facts. It's like, well, no, you're not interested in facts, because if you were, you would have known this before I brought it up.
And here's the other problem, though, is too much communication is a problem. You know, I remember back in the days, you might have a pager on you, All right, so you had to find a payphone. You had a situation. You had to call home. So you had to run around, scrape up a quarter, make a phone call unless it was over a county where you needed more money, you know. But, I mean, it's like, look, take care of whatever situation. Now, why are you bothering me when you can successfully take care of that situation? You know, now it's like, oh, good. Well, hey, look, I can't take care of it at home right now, honey. Good heavens, can you successfully handle this situation because I'm at frickin' work? Rumor has it.
Right.
You know, but I mean, too much communication, man, can destroy a lot of things. And that's what we have too much communication. Believe me when I tell you that. Believe me when Skillzzz tells you that.
Well, you know, the funny thing is, you mentioned payphones. Michelle, do you guys still have? Are there still payphones out that way? I mean,
Payphones?
Yeah,
it's rare. It's rare.
Yeah, you see them every once in a while, and I will tell you, especially out this way, a lot of people still actually have home phones.
Yeah.
Which was weird for me coming down from Illinois, where nobody had a home phone anymore.
Is that weather related? Do you think? I mean, because you know.
Oh, I think a lot of it is. Yeah, I think a lot of it is weather related, and I think it's also there's still a lot of people. Actually, we giggle. There's a lot of people down here walking around with the Gibbs phones, the old flip phones, because they haven't updated to something new. Because they're trying to keep the costs down. Average income down here is very, very low. You've got a really high unemployment rate. You've got a really high rate of people that are on disability or that are retired.
Well, that property's cheap.
Property is very cheap. Very, very cheap down here. But your produce and your food is actually, honestly, higher than I saw it up in Illinois.
Yeah, but you're in good farming country, though, right?
Yeah, but you got to worry about those portable vacuum cleaners called tornadoes.
Well,
Yeah.
Everybody. I mean, we all have our storm cellars. But I got to tell you, I've been here for a year. And growing up in the Toledo area and then living in Illinois outside of Chicago for 15 years, the weather really isn't that much more severe than what I'm used to. Yeah, we get a lot of tornado warnings, and I think the worst thing is you don't get as much warning here as you did back up in Illinois.
Well, I think because they can develop a lot faster.
They're still currently working on that, man. That's a problem, predicting tornadoes, because they're horrible. It's not like, oh, gee, hey, guess what, guys? Like a tree, you know, hey, you have a hurricane coming in, and you have 3 or 4 days to prepare for it. Tornadoes are within 5 minutes of that, if you're lucky.
Oh, exactly.
Plus, it's
exactly. I mean, we can be sunny, and all of a sudden, within 5-10 minutes, it'll cloud up, and all of a sudden, you're seeing signs that it's coming, and it's going to get ugly. And with the way the weather patterns are, I mean, the weather patterns across the country right now are screwball. But down here, it's, you know, the poor weatherman can't tell you from 1 minute to the next what it's going to do, because the wind pattern changes or this changes or whatever, and the storm that was supposed to hit my town hits the town 5 miles up the road, and we're still sunny.
Wow.
Right.
But the town 5 miles up the road got softball-sized hail and a tornado.
Yeah, and there's no slowing it down. Over flat land, those winds are incredible. And when you start to get towards a city or something bigger, it's, you know, it's got a lot more. It rips up the shear. So, you know.
You mentioned outside of Great Lakes. I was in, or outside of Chicago. Yeah, I was in Great Lakes. I was stationed in Great Lakes. It gets chilly there.
Oh yeah.
From the lake, you know, the lake effect.
Yeah.
I got Lake Erie a half a mile down the road from me. I'm blowing through my window now, and I love it.
Yeah, well, I was there. It started in I went there. It started in July, so I got there when it was kind of hot. But when I left, it was December, the end of December, and it was cold then.
Yeah, storms.
Reminded me of home, Maine.
Bad storms, when they crop up, they can scare you. We've had a couple of good lightning storms this year, and they just kind of came out of nowhere, and I was like, okay. when the husky gets up on the bed and starts to dig,
Yeah.
Right.
That's a four-legged walking barometer right there, and I mean to tell you, she can sense anything.
Right.
I look at Judy, and we're like, there's a storm coming. You'll hear it all of a sudden, maybe 5 miles off, a little bit of rumble, and then all of a sudden you're in it. So I couldn't even imagine what it is like out there, where there's nothing to slow it down. So,
Right, and it is very, very open country out here, and that's really one of the big differences.
Does it ruin
So,
a lot of farms? Does it, when these things come rolling through? I mean, does it ruin a lot of farms? Does it, do so much damage and destruction?
I imagine it would crops.
Well,
it does. It just kind of depends on where it actually hits, and of course, what's still in the farming season the fields are at. I know last year some of the cotton fields really took a hit, and in certain parts of Oklahoma, the cattle took a major hit with all the storms. My friends that just moved here from Phoenix that are raising chickens, they started out with 300 baby birds at the beginning of the season, and because of the weather and how bad the storms have been, they're down under 100 now.
Wow.
Is water tough to get there?
Well, not right now, but this area until last year had been in a severe drought for 10 years.
Right.
And then last year they finally broke the drought. And now we're getting rain and, crazily. Rivers are high. We've had flooding issues.
Yeah.
And that's part of why they lost so many of their birds, was from all the floods.
Right. Oh,
So,
I see. Okay.
hey, my buddy from Shanghai Customs that I was talking about earlier is listening in.
Oh.
So
Okay.
he's the one that's starting up the 501c3 to help with all of that.
Do you currently sport rain barrels to capture some of that rainwater and rat hole it?
A lot of people down here have them. I'm currently in a rental house, so I haven't put rain barrels out yet. But I need to. But I'm kind of in one of those weird situations where I would love to move out of the house that I'm in because I hate the house. Kind of have a landlord that isn't dealing with some issues.
So you don't have
Yeah, we got that. Yeah.
spooks in there or no?
What's that?
Do you currently have spooks in the house?
Ghosts.
No. I currently have some, I have some wiring issues because there was a rodent issue that wasn't handled.
Oh boy.
So, like, I have a dishwasher that I can't use. I couldn't put the washer and dryer in because they had gotten into the walls and chewed wires. And that is, I will tell you, that was a rude awakening for me coming down here coming from up north.
Right.
Seeing the difference in what is tolerated in terms of rental properties, especially in the small towns. It is totally different.
There's no enforcement, no codes.
Yeah, there's no enforcement on anything. So, I mean, I'm in a weird situation where, with Anthony being a senior this year, I don't want to make him change schools again. He's changed schools enough. But there's not that many rental properties here in town. And until I decide if I want to stay here, and I got to figure out where I want to put the bakery, because I want to live in the town that I want to put the bakery in, because the towns down here are a good 15, 20 miles apart of open country. So it's not like I want to be driving from one town to another at 2:30 in the morning to open the bakery up.
No, do you really have the kids?
I currently have my son with me, but he's going to be 17. He's the senior in high school. He's been with me since November. My daughter is up in Illinois. And that will probably never change until she's at least 18. And she's 14 right now.
Yeah, that's going to be the tough one.
Yeah.
That'll be the battle.
But you take it 3 at a time. And, I've had friends that have said to me, I don't know how you do it without turning to alcohol. And it's that whole thing of with the lupus and everything else, I got to watch what I drink.
Yeah, but, alcohol isn't going to bring her back either. So, you've got a level
alcohol
head.
isn't going to bring her back,
You've got a very level head.
It's going to cause more issues.
Jim, you know what's funny is that I could probably count on one hand how many times that I went out and partied in probably 5 years. And this year, I've probably been across the street where all my neighbors get together. And, we have partied a lot more this year. But I've also felt a lot better this year. So flare-wise, other than that flu that we all had, that just about wiped out half the planet. But other than that, I haven't felt that bad. A little lethargic and tired, but nothing that's not manageable, I've had a couple of migraines that are cluster headaches, I guess, if that's what you want to cluster migraines. But, this last weekend we went out and we had a great time. And I don't do it that often, but it was kind of fun. And, of course, my neighbor, he's a big Clemson fan. So you get a kick out of this, Michelle. So will Skillzzz. Never fall asleep in front of me if you're inebriated. Terrible. Terrible things will happen. So, we had a little fun with him, but he's the nicest guy in the world. He just happens to be a Clemson fan. We dolled him up a little bit. I guess that's the best way to say it. We dolled him up a little bit. Painted his toes and his fingers.
You say you plan on moving to Texas. Was there any reason why Texas?
Really, honestly, not really. It's just one of those where right here where I'm at in Oklahoma, you've got Vernon, you've got Altus, you've got Frederick, and you've got a couple other smaller towns.
Yeah.
And Frederick's very nice, but I'm hearing that it may not be the place that I would want to open the business.
Right.
Because of some of the small town politics. It would be a perfect place to do it because there's nothing here. People get up in the morning and they have to go to our local gas station chain down here is called Hop and Sack.
Really?
And literally their logo is a kangaroo.
Okay.
And you've got that and you've got Allsup's. And if you want a cup of coffee, we do have a foofy coffee shop in town that serves kind of like, their version of the different Starbucks kind of things. And their coffee's great, but they're only open until 2:00 in the afternoon.
Right.
Any day of the week. It doesn't matter. They're only open until 2.
So you could pretty much corner the market there, couldn't you?
Well, exactly, and it's
what's wrong with
over here in Frederick? It's that way, and it's the same way over in Vernon, Texas. And Vernon, Texas is just enough bigger that I would have a bigger customer base.
Yeah, and you wouldn't have to worry about the politics.
Right.
Got it.
Which is nice.
So.
Yeah.
Right. Right. And honestly, from here to Vernon, Texas, it's 30 miles.
Right.
So, and the only thing in between is a little town called Davidson, which is like 500 people.
Okay.
Not even a stoplight in town.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Yeah, there's just
yeah, and
what is the most populated area? Probably what I don't even know what it
right
would
around
be.
in here, you've got Lawton. You've got Lawton, Oklahoma, which is where Fort Sill is. And then you've got, which is from where I'm at, Lawton is about 35, 40 miles. You've got Altus, Oklahoma, which there's an Air Force base there, which is about 35 miles north. And then I've got Wichita Falls, Texas, which is about 50 miles, 45, 50 miles away, which there's another base there. Those are your three biggest areas. Wichita Falls is probably the big, well, I don't know, Wichita Falls and Lawton are decent sized.
I think Fort Sill is an artillery base out there. I think that I have my brother attended there for artillery training and stuff.
Okay.
So that's
And if I remember correctly, that's a little closer over to Houston, but I might be wrong.
Huh.
But yeah, I mean, I'm 2.5, 3 hours from Dallas. I like Texas. I like Oklahoma. And I really do. I like the area down here. It's the whole thing of, how do I put this? Because of other personal situations, I'm not certain that I want to stay right in Frederick.
Gotcha.
Whereas going over to Vernon might give me a little bit more distance from certain chaos points.
Yes. So let me now that we've talked about all that, what are the winters like there?
We have about a month where it sits between 30 and 20 degrees at the coolest. We get a dusting of snow a couple times throughout the winter, and it's gone by later that same day or else the next day.
So it's no place to make money pushing snow.
You're right.
No. Yeah, no. It's we get last summer I was down here, I came down at the end of June, right before the 4th of July, and they were already sitting in the upper 90s. And we saw that until end of September, beginning of October.
Wow. Yeah, and we're just moving into the 90s now. We've actually, a couple of years ago and last year, we were already in the 90s and well on our way up to the mid 90s. But we're just finally getting into the mid 90s now. And this has been a much better spring. It's been more pleasant, and no one really can complain about it. It's been much better.
Yeah, we've had days where we're already in the upper 90s for days at a time.
Yeah.
So
it's dry, though, isn't it? It's a dry.
No,
isn't it?
it's humid. No, it's humid. It's
Oh,
humid.
yeah.
My Italian sort of curly hair is kind of all over the place. Which is why it's typically up in a ponytail.
There you go.
All right, let's
So
see.
no, it's hot, but for me, I don't do the cold well. That's one of those things that I had to come to terms with the lupus is if it's below 30 degrees, I'm in pain.
Right.
So I can handle the heat, I can handle the sun, but I can't handle that cold. It just kills me.
Right.
Yeah, the cold is very brutal on people with lupus. Very brutal.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it was.
Yeah, I mean, I
it
had
is for me
actually,
too.
with what's gone on over the last couple months, I had toyed with the idea of going back up to the Toledo area after Anthony graduates next year. And I've walked away from that idea after realizing that I would be stuck inside probably 6 months out of the year.
And that makes let me tell you, and that makes a difference too. I mean, you
Like being outside, yeah.
you know, you have
Well,
to.
yeah.
Oh, come on, man. Hey, look, man. When it's too cold out, you put more clothes on. When it's hot, what are you going to strip down beyond your skivvies? Come on, man. Run around with an air conditioner on you? When it's cold, you put more clothes on. Bottom line, I love working in the steel mill when it's cold. Why? Because if you're cold, you get a heater by you, you're good within 45 seconds. If you're overheated, you're done. That's game over. That's game over. Good night. You're going down. See ya. Good night.
Yeah, but that's
no, that's
for,
a fact. That's a fact. I'm not
for
lying.
you that works.
No,
That's
and I do agree. I do agree. But for me, I can handle the heat
better than the cold.
I can be outside. I can be outside in 110 degrees and walking around with a bottle of water and a hat on my head to kind of keep some of the sun off my face, and I will be perfectly fine. You put me in, and I can be in shorts and a tank top with my flip-flops, and I am perfectly happy. You put me in a cold environment, and it does not matter how many layers of clothes I put on. I can't get warm.
Yeah, bring it on, man.
No,
bring it on.
For people, you have to understand though, because that's one of those things that the lupus does. Those Skillzzz is that was one of the biggest reasons why I moved down here. Was it got to the point to where I was just in so much pain all the time.
Right.
Something had to change, but when you're warmed up a lot, it's you're looser. It's a little easier on your muscles, and you get used to it. You do. You get used to it a little bit more.
You state, Michael, Arizona probably would be the place you would be.
Nah, I don't want that. I don't mind. I can handle
dry heat.
Yeah. In the desert.
I like these
winters. You have that freaking humidity, man.
I like these winters.
But
these
that's
are good.
the other thing is that you got to watch with the dry heat because it dehydrates you too fast. And with lupus, that's one of the big battles. You get dehydrated, and it can cause a flare.
Water.
Water. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's just one of those that you got to do what you've got to do, and you've got to learn to accommodate your own weirdness along the way and figure out what's best for you.
I'm going to tell you, it's a diet is a lot of it. I'm telling you.
Well, yeah.
You know, I don't eat the fast foods. I don't drink sodas.
Yep.
You know, a lot of it is diet, and it's made a huge difference just doing that.
Yeah.
I'm more comfortable, and it's kept my weight off, and you know, and it's what you eat. So I eat a lot of salads, chicken, you know, but I like my steak too here and there. So.
Oh yeah.
You know.
And you got to have bacon every once in a while. I'm sorry, you just did.
Food is medicine, right?
Uh-huh.
So they say.
Oh, and
bacon is forbidden in my house.
I'm sorry.
Bacon is forbidden.
That would just be bad.
Yeah.
It's soul crushing.
It's soul crushing.
You're Muslim, you.
Bacon is
my girlfriend's a vegan activist.
Oh boy.
You're a vegan activist.
Oh boy.
She lives in Vegas?
Well, she can be a vegan activist. I mean, that's okay, but why do you have to? You know, and just, you know, you fry it on up, and if she says, you know, you shouldn't be eating that and doing that, and just say, this is something that I really enjoy, here, have a piece in case you want to change to my side. You don't know.
It's not worth the argument. Trust me, it's not worth the argument. I'd rather just sneak in bacon. Like, she works in Melbourne 2 days a week, so tonight I'm stopping and getting a steak. Maybe some bacon as well. I'll cook it on the barbecue so it doesn't...
I take it I shouldn't send you the chocolate bacon cupcakes that I make.
Just say that it's tofuti or something, and she'll eat it.
Oh yeah, could you imagine that? And then she's eating that stuff, and then she finds out later it's bacon. Yeah, and things will go smooth then, right, Tom?
Yeah.
I'll be like, look, baby, I got you a bottle of wine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, sucks for you, dude. Our house, it's a bacon house, and
Bacon fat, yeah.
but I'll be thinking of you. You know?
Every time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, on the way to work this morning, I stopped at the bakery and got a bacon and egg toasted sandwich. It was glorious.
Yeah, it was glorious. Oh God. Yeah. Somehow or
It
another,
was fresh and still dripping.
ladies and gentlemen, somehow or another, I do see Tom's clothes strewn all over the front yard.
Oh, no.
Wouldn't be the first time.
Yeah.
I don't care about my clothes. It's if she goes in the shed and starts throwing my tools.
Yeah, it was an equipment malfunction.
Yeah.
Yeah, you should probably just go with God and don't have the bacon. That's all.
Yeah.
That's why I have a barbecue. I'll cook it outside.
No.
I don't care if it's snowing. The barbecue will do its job.
Oh, I was telling everybody, it's called prawn on the Barbie, not shrimp on the Barbie.
Exactly.
Well,
With a garlic marinade.
So
garlic marinade.
Michelle, when is this next? Have you been looking at places and stuff? I know you're still working your other job, so in that one you
Right.
can wherever your computer is, you can go. So
Exactly.
You know.
So, and I love what I do, and I love the company that I'm working for. In fact, I just wish we could hire more people. We're so shorthanded. It's not even funny.
Right.
But because we're growing leaps and bounds. I mean, we're a small company, and we've doubled in size in the last year. And we actually need at least another 5 more people. The problem is trying to find people that are willing to do the work and travel and have their travel expenses paid and go all over the country and actually, work without, and yet be able to pass drug screens.
yeah, that's the biggest one anymore these days.
Right? That's a hard
I find that so, like, how does that... It's amazing how many people fail that stuff. Like,
Well,
All the
it's a
time.
construction type job. You're working around heavy equipment.
Yeah.
I don't want to. I have no issue with people doing what they want to do on their own time, especially if it's for medical reasons or things like that.
Right.
But we literally had somebody that came out on a job site, was inside one of our units, and they got caught.
Oh. Right. Now, I can see why you wouldn't want anybody stoned on a job, because you start doing math when you're stoned, and it gets kind of confusing.
Well,
Math. He
yeah.
worries about math. Not the
It does.
I'm
construction
more worried about
equipment.
someone on meth with a power tool, man.
As far as functioning,
exactly.
the work comes out a whole lot better.
Tom's got his knees smacked a
but
couple
when it
of
comes
times.
to math, forget it,
by
you
a
know,
straight guy.
You do the same numbers twice, yeah. Math is not good when you're stoned. Function, that's good. Math, no good. That's
Yes.
not good.
So the
Yeah.
power tools are okay.
Yeah.
Oh, what a shiny, pretty saw. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm telling you, I'm a stoner from way back. Everybody knows that. And I've had some pretty productive days. And like one of my buddies said, he says, your work, it takes a little bit longer for you to do your work than the other guys, but it shows in your work.
Yeah.
And then
Well,
again,
and
but I'm the guy that made, when I made stuff, it was new, and people were buying new stuff. And these other guys, they didn't care. They just thrash it together, get it done.
Yeah, well,
Right.
you're always going to have somebody that's just I call them the 9-to-5ers, but...
Well, yeah, they say, hey, it's ductwork. Air don't care. Put it together. It's like, well, the customer cares.
Yeah, it's got to be Function. I was always taught function first, then aesthetics. Function
Yeah,
first.
I was always taught measure twice, cut once.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, yeah.
same
I mean,
difference.
you buy a new car. You want it to have dents all over it, and scratches in the paint. You know, that's the way I feel about my work.
Well, I'll tell you what. We're getting to that time. We are less than 6 minutes to the end, and I know that actually less than that. But let's we'll get ready to wrap it up and get some last thoughts and stuff. Michelle, why don't you give out the information again for your cookies and stuff like that? And I got to tell you, people, I can smell her food all the way from here, so it's heavenly.
Me too.
So go ahead.
It smells glorious from here.
Yeah,
that could be the
absolutely.
bakery I'm parked at the front of.
Absolutely. So go ahead and give out that information one more time while we're here.
It is Ma's Bakery, and you can find us on Facebook. You can look us up, and the link is just Ma's Bakery. So M as in Mary, A as in Apple, S as in Sam. Bakery 73542. You can also find me locally at the Vernon, Texas Farmers Market every Saturday morning. I do take special orders. I do ship. And I do, at this point, all different types of cookies and organic, all-natural dog treats that are even people-friendly, I have to tell you.
Yeah.
And the Facebook page is just getting set up, so there are only a few pictures up there. There will be more to come within the next couple days, and as well as a full menu.
Okay.
And the prices that are listed, I will hold those prices even for shipping purposes. The only difference is you will have to pay the shipping charges. And, keep your eye out for all the different veteran organizations that I'm linked up with, because I will be advertising all of their stuff as well through the bakery.
Name a couple of them.
And I've got some really amazing friends that have some really amazing other businesses that all give back to the veteran community.
There you go.
Which is good. Those are all like 501c3s, which are nonprofit organizations. And good stuff. And I know you have your friend out there that's listening in, and he's getting ready to start one to raise awareness. Does he have a name or anything for it yet? Maybe you can do a little shout out and, give us, that info. Michelle?
Hello?
Uh-oh. Something happened there. I don't know what happened. Are you there?
I somehow fell off.
Oh, hang on. We were there. I'm not sure how that happened, but I kind of lost everybody. Hang on. And I'm going back to add. Let's see. There's Papa, and Papa's back, and now let's see. We've got one more here. And there we go. Now Tom's there. Okay, are we all there? Hello?
I think so.
Something happened here. I don't know. Hang on, Michelle. We'll try this again. Something happened there. Let me go back to this one. Resume call. Hello? Oh, I love Skype. Hang on, Michelle. I'm not sure what happened here. Oh, I love Skype. It has decided to... Papa, are you there? Something happened. Okay, well... Since I'm not sure what happened here, we are trying to fix this real quick, but I don't know what happened. Hang on.
Uh-oh.
Yep. So.
And it's time to wrap up too.
And it is, and we get one of these all the time. So I'm working on this. Michelle, I'm going to hang up with you, and I'll call you back.
All right.
Okay, let's see what happened here. What happened to our group call? Uh-oh.
Indeed.
There
Hold
we
on.
go. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what happened there. I guess Skype decided to do its own thing again.
Probably. Huh?
So I apologize, but I'll tell you what, we are at that point. So, Papa?
Show us, don't tell us. Thanks for listening. Head over to lnmradionetwork.com. Click on that donate or subscribe button. Get into the archives. It's a great website, man. What can I say?
Yep, and Skillzzz?
And I do echo Papa's sentiments. Man, guys, if you get a few minutes, man, just donate to L&M Radio Network and archive. Like you thought your local library was good. Well, as a matter of fact, everybody's so used to the internet. But let's backtrack to the library scenario where you actually had to go out and pull out the cards and look up cards and find a book. Well, you don't have to do that with L&M Radio, man. You just donate and you move along, man. You pick and choose your shows and listen to them. And there you have it. And Michael, our fantastic engineer, my old bro, unbelievable show, Michael. Thank you very much, and it's all you, brother.
Well, I'll tell you what, Skype has decided to pull some funny tricks today and everything else, so I apologize for that. Not my finest work doing the programming stuff, but it is what it is. Anyway, I thank you all for joining us tonight. Be good to each other, love each other, support the veterans, support L&M Radio Network here. We could use it so we can be on the air to, keep giving you the good information and the good, interviews that we have. But anyway, thank you, Lift for 22. Thank you very much for everything that you do. God bless you guys, and we are very grateful that you're watching out for our brothers and sisters out there. Get home safe, people. Okay, we love you. We miss you. Your life matters. So until next time, you've got Show Us, Don't Tell Us, and we will talk to you all later. Everyone have a good night. Have a great week.